Size 8, here I come. Dexatrim Max 2.0. Max out your water.
Let me hear you whisper. Let me hear your sigh. Let me put my arms around you. Let me call you mine. Till my lonely bound. I'll tell my dear home. Darling, I go on. Oh, wonderful and now. Dear lady, all the song me.
America's Funniest Home Videos. Weeknights starting at 7 on Superstation WGN. The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
This has been a tremendous homestand, and that W flag has been flying a lot. High atop Wrigley Field, it's Carlos Zambrano bobblehead day here at the ballpark as the Cubs continue to close in on the Brewers in the National League Central. It's game 2 of this series here on WGN Sports as the Cubs host the Arizona Diamondbacks from Wrigley Field. Hi again, everyone. Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. Very similar day today. The wind is blowing in. We'll see if the Cubs can continue to score a lot of runs, which they've done lately. If we look at the central standings and the wild card standings, the Cubs are very much in it.
Well, they're very much in both races. 2.5 games behind the Brewers in the Central, 2 games behind the Dodgers in the wild card race. The approach that has gotten them to this position has been, we'll take care of our own business. Let the Brewers, let the Dodgers do what they do, but we need to take care of our own business.
And they've done it at home lately in particular.
Boy, early in the season, people were wondering if the Cubs could ever win here at the friendly confines, but they've really turned that around among the league leaders in home victories.
We've talked about so many factors leading to the Cubs changing their fortunes, but the starting pitching, I mean, how many times do we say it? It starts with the starters.
It starts with the starters, and also, especially if you look at Zambrano's outing on Wednesday, he only went 5 innings. He came out of the game with a big lead to save some pitches, but Sean Gallagher came in to finish it up with 4 innings of relief. So even on those days when the starters haven't worked deep in the ball game, the bullpen has either been able to patch it together or one guy has stepped up and eaten up those innings.
Left-hander Rich Hill will go for the Cubs today. Right-hander Micah Owings for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and we'll have Cubs baseball from Wrigley Field next.
Only 7 are left.
That was a copycat performance, not good enough. The musical train wreck. Boy band, yes. American Idol, no.
And Simon made his pick for the first American Idol.
If they don't vote you through as the winner of this competition, it will be total madness.
I saw you snapping and dancing for the first time ever.
Did he get it right?
I made a mistake once in my life, sitting with these two.
American Idol Rewind.
Today at 6 on Superstation WGN.
Have you enjoyed a Budweiser lately? Because I can only describe the smoothness you'll get from Beechwood Aging. I can only tell you about the choicest hops. But if you really want to understand what makes Budweiser the king of beers, you have to taste it. Just taste it. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
For my sport, the only sunscreen is Coppertone Sport.
It protects me from damaging UVA and UVB rays.
And it doesn't run in my eyes, no matter how hard I sweat.
Coppertone Sport, high-performance sunscreens.
Like I said, we live in a society where the individual ego and the group dynamic are in constant struggle.
Response?
Yeah, I have a response. What?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Nobody said this was going to be easy.
Now, see, if Geico.com had taken that approach, instead of telling everyone it's so easy a caveman can do it, I wouldn't be having an existential meltdown right now.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
This summer, get the sunblock that also blocks the bite. Bullfrog Mosquito Coast Sunblock and Repellent. Up to 8-hour protection against harmful rays and pesky bites without the odor. Bullfrog Mosquito Coast. Block the burn and the bite.
Chicago Cubs baseball. Brought to you by Budweiser. The perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Open up a world of taste. Comcast. Catch more Cubs home games in HD on Comcast Digital Cable. Call 1-888-4-BEST-TV today. The Illinois Lottery. No matter how you play, play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit southwest.com today.
The weather's been tremendous on this homestand, matching the Cubs' play. And the wind's blowing in again. How can it be late July? The wind keeps blowing in. Doesn't really matter. The Cubs have won 7 of 8 to start the second half, including today 2 more before they hit the road next week. Today's Cubs broadcast on WGN Sports, your official summer baseball station, is presented in high definition, sponsored by Comcast, and brought to you in 5.1 Dolby Surround Sound. 6-2 win yesterday for the Cubs. They go for their 4th in a row. Arizona struggling, losing 9 of their last 10 on the road. Chris Young supplied their offense with a 2-run homer. Orlando Hudson, Eric Burns, Connor Jackson gets his first start in the series. Mark Reynolds, a rookie, at third. Scott Hairston, the brother of Jerry Hairston, former Cub, in left. Stephen Drew at short. Chris Snyder and Micah Owings, 8 and 9.
Let's take a look at the Cubs defensively, brought to you by Pepsi, your world, your Pepsi. Soriano with another outfield assist in the ball game yesterday. He'll be in left field. Jock Jones once again in center. Angel Pagan over in right. Ramirez and Terrio on the left side. Fontenot and DeRosa on the right side today. Coy Hill will be doing the catching for left-hander Rich Hill. Rich Hill coming off one of his best outings of the season. See his numbers on the year against the Giants last time out. 8 innings, gave up only 4 hits and 2 runs. Not a lot of strikeouts. Only had 3 punch-outs in the ball game, but he was around the zone all day long. Talked about that outfield assist by Alfonso Soriano in the ball game yesterday. A great running catch on a sinking line drive. The wind was pushing the ball back toward the infield. Not only did he make a nice catch, threw on the run to Scott Moore at first to complete a double play.
Check out the umpires. Ted Barrett in his 11th year. He was behind the plate for Greg Maddox's 300th win back in 2004. Swing and a miss, strike 1 on Chris Young, the center fielder. Inside corner. That's a fastball from Rich Hill at 91. 2 strikes. Actually a little cooler today than yesterday. It was 70 at game time. Today's 68. A wind out of the northeast at 8. Popped up. And behind home plate, Coy Hill, and it's, well, he missed it by about 2 feet, but wouldn't have been able to make the catch because the screen was in the way.
Another foul ball affected by that wind blowing straight in. It looked like Coy was going to have a chance to get back to the warning track area behind home plate and make that catch, but ball ended up 2 rows into the stands.
Milwaukee lost last night to San Francisco. Barry Bonds was in the lineup. He went 0 for 4. So the Cubs are just 2 back in the loss column in the Central and only 1 back in the loss column in the wild card behind the Dodgers. A meteoric rise in the standings over the last month plus. Inside. We talk sometimes in the second half about the standings, and you say, well, you know, you're only 4.5 out in the wild card or whatever, but sometimes there are 5 teams in front of you. There's nothing quite like being in second place and only chasing 1. Ramirez with a rare miscue at third base, and Young's going to end up at second. I don't know if it took a weird hop or if he just missed it, but it snuck under his glove. And Chris Young is at second base.
Unfortunately, Aramis Ramirez had a lot more time than he realized. Chris Young kind of spins his wheels coming out of the batter's box right there, stumbles a little bit, goes down to his hands and knees, but it almost looked like Ramirez may have lost that ball out of his shirt behind home plate. You'll hear corner infielders especially talk about that a lot when there are several white shirts in the same area and that ground ball happens to come out of that area. The infielders don't always see it well, and that's a play Aramis normally would make easily.
It's an error on Ramirez, and Young got a great jump and no throw on Coy Hill. So two-base error, and Young now with his 12th stolen base, and all of a sudden he's at third with nobody out. That was after an 0-2 start to the first hitter.
Boy, that is a stolen base that comes directly from the scouting report. Apparently they feel Rich Hill, it doesn't look back to second a second time.
And sharply on the ground. Young's going to score easily as Terrio throws to DeRosa. Hudson gets an RBI and a ground out to short.
And that's one thing an advanced scout will keep an eye on. Does the pitcher check the runner at second base one time? Does he check twice? Does he ever throw to home plate without checking the runner? Just like with the runner at first base, you have to vary your delivery to make sure those guys don't get a walking lead at second base.
Here's Eric Burns, the number 3 hitter. You think about the number 3 hitters in this series, Eric Burns and Mike Fontenot. A lot of teams would have those guys be their leadoff guy.
Well, I think that speaks for the Diamondbacks anyway, just to the nature of their offensive struggles this year. Eric Burns has had a fine offensive season, but yeah, you're absolutely right. He's a guy that would normally hit somewhere up at the top of the order or maybe down in the 7 hole, but with this young Diamondbacks team, a lot of inexperienced hitters, Eric Burns is the guy right in the middle.
Inside, 3 balls, no strikes. Now, this is one of those innings where Lou Piniella, I'm sure, will be watching Rich Hill very closely. A couple of starts ago, Lou was very pointed in his critique of Rich's struggles, saying that it's more of a mental thing with Rich. There's a walk, and not letting innings like this bother him. He kicks the dirt in front of the mound. It looked like Lou just kind of waved. Larry Rothschild said, "Go on out."
Quote that old baseball line. Larry Price says, "I don't know what you're doing, but you're making Lou mad." Not the kind of start that Rich Hill was looking for to this ball game. Sometimes you can be so focused on the hitter at the plate and trying to remember the scouting report and how do I want to attack this hitter that you forget that there are other aspects to being a good major league pitcher, and one of those is holding base runners.
Now, we'll see what the move looks like here with Eric Burns at first base, tied for 5th in the National League with 24 steals. Connor Jackson cleaning up today, and he fouls it back.
Well, once again, Connor Jackson, the cleanup hitter for this Diamondbacks team, with 28 RBI on the season, and this guy's had 250 plus at bats on the year. Only 6 home runs. I mean, he is what he is. He's a line drive hitter, a gap to gap hitter, but because of the struggles of the Diamondbacks, he's the cleanup hitter in this lineup.
He's taken 10 more walks than strikeouts, 38 free passes, 28 punch-outs. And that's why his on-base percentage .359, even though his batting average is .258. Big leg kick and a pitch. Check swing and another slip in the batter's box, and the Cubs will turn 2. To keep an eye on that right-handed batter's box. 2 Diamondback hitters slipping as they were trying to get out of there. An unearned run for Arizona. The Cubs are coming up.
Hey, Cubs fans, keep your eye on the ball. Every time a Cubs player hits a homer at Wrigley, you could be a winner. It's the Southwest Airlines How Far Did It Fly Home Run Contest. After every Cubs homer, write down the distance along with your name and address and send it to WGN TV. 10 winners will receive 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. For every Cubs homer, ask yourself, how far did it fly? From Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the Chicago Cubs.
How do we do the soup, salad, and breadsticks lunch at Olive Garden? We start with the salad, then pass around the breadsticks, and finish with the perfect bite.
Our unlimited fresh salad, homemade soup, and warm breadsticks lunch, just $5.95, only at Olive Garden.
We're so excited.
We're very excited.
Everybody says, you guys should be in that commercial.
We were already a walking eHarmony commercial. We tell everybody we know.
I actually wrote in to eHarmony.
We actually kind of joke because we'll find ourselves talking about the same things they say on the commercials.
And also it's fun just talking about our story and sharing it again with somebody else.
We are.
We're absolutely real.
We are real.
Met on eHarmony.
Yep.
Find the love of your life at eHarmony.com. Log on today.
Caution, professional toolman at work. He's fully trained to handle dangerous situations. Remember, don't try this at home. Home Improvement, weekdays.
Weekdays at 5:30 on Superstation WGN.
Now the Cubs lineup for today's game brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. Quickly, Soriano, Terrio, Fontenot at the top. Ramirez, Jones, DeRosa in the middle. Pagan and Coy and Rich Hill at the bottom. We'll set the Diamondbacks defensively here in a moment. Micah Owings deals and a swing and a miss by Alfonso Soriano.
Mike Owings got off to a great start this season. He's lost his last 4 starts over a stretch. So he's given up 21 runs in his last 4 starts, 6 homers, and has allowed a .310 batting average. Diamondbacks really like this young man. Good fastball. He'll elevate it a lot, especially to the right-handed hitters. Got the slider right there, a pitch that he goes to almost half the time against right-handed hitters.
He's a rookie, a 3rd-round pick out of Tulane in 2005 from Gainesville, Georgia. Fouled back, in on the hands that time. Owings played 2 seasons at Georgia Tech. He was then drafted by the Cubs in the 19th round, but then went back to school instead, ended up transferring to Tulane. Good decision. Ended up a 3rd-round pick.
Boy, and Owings could really swing the bat. He has had a good year offensively, even though the numbers might not reflect it. Bob Melvin, the manager for the Diamondbacks, told me before the ball game that this guy might be the best hitter he has in the lineup today. Of course, that's a little over-exaggeration, but Owings hit 25 home runs in 1 season in high school to set a Georgia State record. His 69 career home runs in high school won off a national record. He's been used as a pinch hitter twice already this season.
Good at bat, 3-2 the count. Terrio playing short on deck. 7-game run streak for the Riot. Busted bat, that'll be a foul ball. The bat was fair. Mark Reynolds picking it up, and he'll hand it to Mike Quaddy.
Again, that heavy, big-barreled bat, when a pitcher's able to get that ball in on the hands of Alfonso Soriano, that is usually the result. Creates such a tremendous amount of torque, and when that ball makes contact with the bat down there below the trademark, and we've seen it all season long, the bat just explodes.
A 6'5" righty deals again. Ball 4. Good start.
Boy, a great double play by the Cubs to end that top half of the 1st inning and get Rich Hill out of any further trouble. Once again, another Diamondback hitter. Watch Connor Jackson gets jammed badly on the check swing, and he stumbles coming out of the batter's box as well. That allowed Terrio the opportunity to throw back over his shoulder to Fontenot. Nice job by Fontenot to dance out of the way of the sliding runner, and the Cubs turn it into a double play.
Ball 1 on Ryan. Started that 6-4-3 double play. And we'll see if Soriano can get into the stolen base act. The last couple of days, the Cubs' stolen bases have really counted. They've been followed up by run-scoring hits. Fontenot had 2 such steals yesterday. Ted Lilly with one earlier in the homestand. 1-6. That's it. And in fact, on the bounce, the ball hits Matt Sinatro. Chris Snyder came over. There's the opening in the middle of the dugout. He kept that ball from going into the dugout, almost like a kick save over there. Right up against the barrier. So no error on the play.
Oh, he's a good athlete. Spins around, gets rid of the ball quickly to his shortstop, Stephen Drew, and his throw is well off the mark over there at first base. And that's one thing a first base coach never likes to have happen. You try to stay out of the line of fire in the event that there is an overthrow so that you are not part of the play, but Matty right in line with that errant throw. If the throw was on the bag, he's in good shape right there, but that throw was well up the first baseline. Matty just couldn't quite get out of the way in time. Soriano going in there with the left hand. Looked like it caught him on the thumb right there. Misdirected that throw to first base a little bit. And if the umpires felt that was something that Soriano did intentionally to try to deflect that ball, they could technically call the runner out at first as well, but it appeared to just be an inadvertent contact as he went sliding into second base.
Well, it did save a double play. Kind of explains the bad throw, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
That was relatively routine for Stephen Drew. A pitch to Mike Fontenot. Good slide step there by Owings, although the pitch missed. 2 balls, no strikes. After the game yesterday, Mike joked to reporters that Derek Lee gave him some advice about batting third. So just hit a couple of singles and steal a couple of bases. And that's exactly what he did.
That's what you like to hear from your veterans. Just lead those rookies along. Well, he's very coachable.
Game 4 of the suspension for Lee. Cubs 3-0 since he dropped his appeal. He'll be back Tuesday night in St. Louis. Cubs have won 11 straight against right-handed starters and 16 of their last 17. And looking ahead on the schedule, they'll face nothing but righties through at least Thursday, covering that entire Cardinals set. So that's the next 5 games, including today. 3-0 pitch. Ball 4. 2 on for Ramirez. It's not what Owings wanted to do with Ramirez coming up. And there's a buzz in this crowd. They know what Aramis has done on this homestand. And since he's come back from the DL, 25 RBIs in 21 games.
And just as clutch as he could possibly be, batting .600 with runners in scoring position this month. I'll tell you, there is no question this is a guy Lou Piniella wants to have up to the plate with runners on base.
First and second. And Ramirez with a step toward Owings. And Chris Snyder getting in the way. And now Jock Jones is going to put a bear hug on Aramis. Mike Quaddy as well. The Arizona bullpen, everybody's standing. Nobody's standing in the Cubs bullpen. Pitch was up and in on Ramirez. Now Lou Piniella's coming out toward the home plate umpire, Ted Barrett.
You got a guy on the mound that's already walked 2 of the first 3 batters of the ball game. It's obvious his control is not that good, but Aramis felt this pitch was a little too close to his head. Tell you, most hitters don't mind if you throw between the shoulders and the knees, but anytime you go up above the shoulders around that head face area, that's going to draw a reaction.
So the crew chief Larry Young now chatting with the home plate umpire Ted Barrett. And Larry Young claps his hands and now he's going to head out and talk maybe to the pitcher, or is he going to head right back to his second base position? Maybe a quick word for the pitcher on his way back.
Look, the umpires felt this was an intentional pitch. There would have been warnings issued, and to the best of my knowledge, there have not been warnings issued. I've kept a close eye on Ted Barrett behind home plate, as well as Larry Young, the crew chief, and I didn't see any indication to the dugouts that would lead me to believe that warnings have been issued at this point.
Well, 1 ball, no strikes on Ramirez. Here's a pitch, low and outside. And clearly Ramos was very upset, but a great move to not head out to the mound. I mean, you already have one guy suspended. You have Cliff Floyd, who would be available to pinch hit today, but not well enough to start. You can't get guys suspended right now. Too much on the line for the Cubs. Two-0 pitch, big swing and a miss.
And after making that error to start the ball game down at third base, you know Ramos would like to do something loud with the bat right here to get the Cubs on the board in this game.
Owings has a sign from his battery mate Chris Snyder. Look at second, now the pitch. Another one low and away, 3-1.
And normally a very predictable fastball count, especially for a guy on the mound who's been struggling with his control. He's missed badly away with that slider that's normally his bread and butter pitch. Fastball consistently sits in the high 80s, occasionally will touch the low 90s.
Also a good job by Chris Snyder to kind of create a little block there in between his pitcher and the batter. Fouled straight back. In the case of the fight with the Padres, Rob Bowen was chatting with a home plate umpire on a check swing. And so there was nobody between Derek Lee and Chris Young. I'm sure Bob Melvin's had to get in the middle of a couple of those, as did you in your career.
Unfortunately, it's part of the job as a manager. Fortunately, you don't have to do it very often, but on those occasions where you don't want to lose your superstar, you better get out of that dugout quickly.
The runners go on the 3-2 pitch, and a check swing, strike 3. So they'll be at second and third with 2 outs in the inning.
Fastball up and in. Soft fastball, wanted to pull the trigger, but then realized the ball was out of the strike zone, just couldn't hold it up.
And it brings up Jock Jones. 2 RBIs yesterday, both go-ahead RBI hits. The last of which ended up being the game winner. Made it 3-2 in the 6th. The Cubs would win 6-2. Arizona with an unearned run in the top of the first. Way outside, 1-1. Mark DeRosa on deck. He had yesterday off, back in the lineup, playing first base today. I saw Darrell Ward come up the steps in the dugout today with a boot on that right leg. His right calf badly strained, has a small tear. He is now on the disabled list.
And you saw that defensive alignment for the Diamondbacks. Jock Jones drove in a run with a base hit to left center field in the ball game yesterday. I was noticing the outfield alignment. They were more straight up yesterday, but because Jock got the base hit to left yesterday to hurt the Diamondbacks, trying to take that away a little bit, giving him a lot of room in right center field.
Kick in the 2-1 pitch.
Jock has had a real nice couple of days back-to-back 4 hits a couple days ago. Big 2-out knock in the ball game yesterday, right through the second base hole. That drove home Mike Fontenot, who had stolen a base with 2 outs, and then later in the ball game, that's the one I was talking about, the little dunker into left center field to drive home Aramis Ramirez.
.25 pitches already for the rookie Owings here in the first. 2 walks, no hits. Pop fly center field. Young went back and then had to come way in to make the catch. Almost some fireworks as Ramirez had his tower buzzed. 1-0 after 1.
Before you order your next beer, consider this. Budweiser still goes to the expense of Beechwood aging, an original old-world style of lagering. And Budweiser cares enough to own and maintain world-renowned hop farms. A perfect choice in every corner bar, in every corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
The new Turtle Waffle Bowl Sundae at Dairy Queen with creamy DQ soft serve, pecans, and... Wait, is it pecans or pecans? Pecans? Okay. Pecans and gooey caramel. Or is it caramel? Do one.
For my sport, the only sunscreen is Coppertone Sport.
It protects me from damaging UVA and UVB rays.
And it doesn't run in my eyes, no matter how hard I sweat.
Coppertone Sport, high-performance sunscreens.
This summer, get the sunblock that also blocks the bite. Bullfrog Mosquito Coast Sunblock and Repellent. Up to 8-hour protection against harmful rays and pesky bites without the odor. Bullfrog Mosquito Coast. Block the burn and the bite.
There's a new shrink in Mumford.
What can you tell me about this?
Who's getting everyone to open up.
I am in love with you.
Wow.
But he's the one who needs the help.
I smell a rat, I'm telling you. Everybody has a story.
Mumford.
Thursday at 8 on Superstation WGN.
Scrubs. They're overworked.
Dr. Reed? I'm not sucking my thumb.
Underappreciated. Socially inept.
Are you planning on making this worth my while?
And on call 5 times a week.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Weeknights at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Aramis Ramirez with an error in the top of the first inning, and then a pitch that was a little bit too close to his head in the bottom of the inning. Ended up striking out. And Owings would eventually get out of the inning. So we play the second. Reynolds, Hairston, Drew for Arizona. 2 strikes on him. How about this? No hits for either team in the first inning, but a lot happened. Swung on and missed. Strike 3.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports, your official summer baseball station, is brought to you by refreshingly smooth Bud Light, always worth it.
Here's Scott Hairston. Jerry's brother comes from a great family with a long baseball history.
Scott Hairston started out as a second baseman in the Diamondbacks organization. Just had a lot of struggles defensively. Has been much more comfortable as a corner outfielder. This is one of those young men that has come up from the minor leagues, dragging his glove behind him. It's all about that bat for Scott Hairston.
Scott grew up in Naperville.
Guy with tremendous potential, has a lot of pop in the bat, runs very well. Like a lot of these young Diamondbacks hitters, just trying to find his way consistently at the major league level. He's shown flashes of brilliance and he's shown flashes of struggle.
The 9th member of his family to play pro ball, the 5th to play in the majors. 2 of the Hairstons playing for the Cubs. His uncle John, 1969, and Jerry Jr., who was acquired in the Sammy Sosa Mike Fontenot deal. It's going to become known as the Fontenot trade. At the time, he was considered a throw-in. Line and caught by Ramirez. Tomahawk by Hairston to 4 and out. They were lined up early this morning for the Carlos Zambrano bobblehead doll. The first 10,000 fans through the gates received an exclusive limited edition Carlos Zambrano bobblehead doll in home uniform, compliments of Fisher Nuts. Very popular item.
Seems like every few years there's another item that becomes very popular, not only here in Chicago at Wrigley Field, but all around baseball. It was the Beanie Babies a few years ago. Everybody had to have the Beanie Babies, and the bobblehead dolls are always very popular.
A lot of conversation in the clubhouse about the Big Z bobblehead as Stephen Drew singles into center. That's the first hit. And what tends to happen every time you have a bobblehead, the question is, does it look like him? Here he comes.
He's got the right number.
Hurry. See that don't walk signs flashing. Come on. It's like a Spike Lee movie.
The head's big, but the legs are real short. It's tough to move too fast.
There's always one scene in a Spike Lee movie where the people are walking, but you don't see their feet moving. Just sliding. Chris Snyder, the catcher. Runner at first, 2 outs. And he's going to drop this one right in front of Jock Jones. And Stephen Drew runs well, and no problem for him to get to third base. Yeah. You're thinking exactly what I'm thinking.
Absolutely. Normally no big deal. Brings a pitcher to the plate with runners at first and third and 2 outs. You just blow the pitcher away and move along. But as we talked about earlier, Micah Owings can swing that bat. Dunker into shallow center field. Stephen Drew, as you mentioned, with great speed, good base running instincts, got a great jump on that ball, turned the corner well at second, and moved on to third base easily.
Well, Micah Owings, there may have been some Cub fans in this park who didn't know who he was before the game started, but after that pitch to Ramirez, they know now, and a few boo birds greeting Owings with his first at bat.
He's on the list now.
The pitch from Hill is outside, went with a curveball. That tells you a little bit about Owings. Normally you just throw a fastball right down the middle against a pitcher. Big swing on a fastball, 1-1. Kind of an interesting goatee for Owings. Just that would take me way too much time in the morning. Keep that thing groomed and clipped properly. I don't know about you, but around the chin area, that's a very delicate area.
It's more like facial landscaping. Yeah, that takes way too much time. Two and 2. A lot of times with a pitcher who is a good hitter like Micah Owings, you can get him to chase those fastballs up out of the zone. We've seen him chase a couple of high pitches already in this sequence. Looking for a fastball to hit. If you can put it in a location where he can't get to it, you'll still get the swing.
That's the swing and the strikeout. 2 Ks in the inning, 2 hits, no runs. It's 1-0.
Now it's easy to sell your home fast with the No Commission Company. ForSaleByOwner.com.
We sold our home in 3 weeks.
I had no idea it could be that easy. It really was.
We've helped thousands of people save millions of dollars. We give you lawn signs and a step-by-step guide. We even have advisors on call to answer any questions. Visit ForSaleByOwner.com now at ForSaleByOwner.com. ForSaleByOwner.com. No commission, lots of help.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits.
Sweet.
Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old town.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
If a Cubs player hits a homer today, write down the distance and player's name and send it to WGN TV. You could win 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. A terrorist threatens to start an epidemic.
If you fail to comply, I will release 2 vials of the virus.
Next 24, tonight at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
Well, thanks to Jay Blunk and the Cubs marketing department, we have our own bobbleheads today. We're the only ones who get one. But what do you think?
I think Jay did a great job with the hair. I like mine. There we are.
You have it. Got the mustache and everything. Crossing our arms. We look bored, though. That's the only thing.
That's great.
My bobblehead has a better tan than I do.
My bobblehead apparently has had Botox.
DeRosa flies out as we start the bottom of the second.
I appreciate it, Jay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you number 15?
I think I'm 00.
I'm 00 too.
Yeah, double Zot.
Now you've had more than one bobblehead.
Oh, I have a whole team of bobbleheads by now. This one has the most hair, though. It's my favorite.
Angel Pagan batting. He's playing right. Lou said before the ballgame he assumes it'll be one more day for Cliff Floyd. He would have been available to pinch hit if needed yesterday, and same today. If he doesn't play tomorrow, they have the off day Monday, so he could get a good 4 full days before the next trip. And the Cubs at that point hopefully will be back to full strength because Derek Lee will be off the suspended list as well. Ryan Dempster will close in the 9th if the Cubs are in a save opportunity today. Buried in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You saw Chris Snyder after blocking that ball came up right away nodding his head yes to his pitcher out on the mound. That's exactly where he wanted that 2-strike pitch. Try to get Angel to chase one way down low out of the zone.
Check swing, and that's foul. Angel bounced it off his foot.
Unfortunately, it was a check swing. He didn't hit it as hard off his back foot as he possibly could have. Just walk that one off. He'll be all right. Easy for me to say.
2-2. Well, we talked yesterday about their new uniforms, and how about that DB, Diamondbacks with the snake head? That's pretty cool. Lined and caught by Mark Reynolds. You didn't come up with any design like that 5 or 6 years ago, did you?
No, but I do most of my best work on keychains nowadays.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, funny you mention that. The Cubs host the Diamondbacks tomorrow. Game time 1:20, and be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 adults get a Cubs keychain compliments of Chevrolet. I believe you did consult with them on that logo design.
Yeah. I had some suggestions for the Diamondbacks logo after I got fired in 04, but they rejected all those.
Another check swing, this time off the bat of Coy Hill, a former Diamondback, and Reynolds throws him out, and that ends the inning. Owens has retired 5 straight, 1-0 Arizona.
Ted Danson is the doctor who specializes in sarcasm. Becker, late nights on Superstation WGN.
No matter what the label looks like, no matter how you say it, one beer is the perfect choice at any corner bar in any corner of the world. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser. Open up a world of taste.
I ain't got no money. I ain't got no car to take you on a date. Talk to me, girl.
It's a classic that still has much flavor. McDonald's double quarter pounder with cheese. 2 big juicy quarter pound patties of 100% pure beef, pickles, and diced onions. Some things that are old school never lose their cool.
Talk to me, girl.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Introducing Payne's newest Vanishing Act.
New Icy Hot Vanishing Scent. Now the power of Icy Hot glides on icy to dull paint, then gets hot to relax it away, and the scent vanishes.
New Icy Hot Vanishing Scent. Make pain and scent a vanishing act.
How do we do the soup, salad, and breadsticks lunch at Olive Garden? Carol serves the salad, the breadsticks in the middle, and the soups as different as we are.
Our unlimited fresh salad, homemade soup, and warm breadsticks lunch, just $5.95, only at Olive Garden.
Get into some serious monkey business. Funniest pets and people. Tuesday night on Superstation WGN.
Carlos Zambrano on his bobblehead day, enjoying the ball game with his friend.
Making sure the bobblehead's paying attention to the field.
Now that's not nice. Needs to be hydrated. That goatee looks a little more full than the one we have. You think he took a Sharpie?
I bet he did. Makeover.
Top of the order. So second time through for Rich Hill. Young reached on an error by Ramirez. He got all the way to second base. He then quickly stole third and scored on the RBI ground out by Orlando Hudson. So he has really supplied all their offense in this series. 2-run homer yesterday. And scoring their first and only run to this point.
Well, as a leadoff hitter, the Diamondbacks would like to see Young improve that on-base percentage. He's only drawn 15 base on balls in well over 300 at-bats this year. However, he does give you that element of power. 15 home runs out of the leadoff spot.
Even with a run today, their past 7 games, 14 runs. So they have really struggled in the run scoring department. And you have 2 teams going in opposite directions in close games. Arizona won 17 of its first 23 one-run decisions. But they dropped 9 of their last 11. Whereas the Cubs, it's been just an opposite turnaround. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on the curveball. 1 out in the third.
Good breaking ball from Rich Hill. As Young in a 2-strike count has to protect that plate. Took a little bit off. That one broke it right in underneath the hands of the Diamondbacks leadoff hitter.
Rich Hill's first major league win came against Arizona. Hudson with a single to right. It was August 1st of last year. 8 strong innings. Came in his 10th big league start and his 16th appearance, and really turned the corner over the final 2 months last year.
Well, and unlike a lot of teams that don't do much with their 3, 4, 5 hitters in the lineup, Bob Melvin will play hit and run with his 3, 4, 5 hitters. They're struggling, as you mentioned, to score runs, finding ways to put points on the board. Wouldn't be a bit surprised to see him play hit and run with Eric Burns at the plate and the veteran Orlando Hudson on base.
Well, Eric Burns might have a future in broadcasting. In fact, he does it a little bit on a part-time basis. He was at the All-Star Game festivities out in McCovey Cove with his dog. They didn't have a whole lot to do. Nobody reached the cove. Boy, Hudson almost came off first base. Slide step in the pitch. Fastball, tried to rush it in on him and missed. 1-1.
One way to defend against the hit and run is for the starting pitcher to get ahead in the count. If you're ahead in the count, it's less likely that that opposing manager is going to risk a hit and run, because if you're ahead in the count, you can pitch out. Now the count even at 1-1. Like to see Rich get back on top again. I saw that Bulldog at the All-Star game. He jumped in the McCovey Cove and looked like he was headed south. He was going down to San Jose.
His Bulldog's name is Bruin. That would make sense. Eric Burns went to UCLA. Line into left. Soriano coming in, and it gets by him on the bounce. Hudson to third. Burns streaking towards second. Head first. He's in. The ball, in fact, never was caught by Fontenot. Second and third, one out. Burns absolutely barreling into second base, almost out of control.
I think Soriano realized he couldn't get there in the air, so he tries to make that short hop play on that ball, but unfortunately gets underneath the glove, allowing both runners to advance into scoring position. I would assume that's going to be a base hit and an error on Soriano. It's kind of one of those do or die plays, as you see a one-man demolition derby. Eric Burns barrel rolling into second base.
So single and an error, number 2 on the Cubs today. Connor Jackson, strike one, second and third, one out. Been a real struggle for the Diamondbacks with runners in scoring position this year. Count.
Going into the ball game today, the Cubs had been the team forcing the opponent to make mistakes. Enemies of the Cubs have made 13 errors on this homestand against only 4 by the hometown team, but 2 errors in the game already today for the Cubs. And it seemed like every time the opposition made an error, the Cubs were able to cash it in and turn it into runs.
Arizona dead last in the major leagues with runners in scoring position, hitting .234. But they don't need a hit to get a run here with less than 2 outs. Hill held it for an extra half second, didn't get the call from Ted Barrett. 3-1.
But just another example of the offensive struggles of the Diamondbacks. The guy at the plate, the cleanup hitter for the Arizona Diamondbacks, batting 138 with runners in scoring position and less than 2 outs.
Mark Reynolds on deck. Here's the pitch, and the bases are loaded. Let's meet today's celebrity bat kids. Brought to you by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. 16-year-old Nicole Groshon from Niles, Illinois. And Drew Alexander, 8 years old from Berwyn. Having a great day at Wrigley Field thanks to our friends at Walgreens. And autographs as well. For information and official rules of the Walgreens Celebrity Bat Kids Sweepstakes, go to WGNradio.com. Ryan Terrio, Mark DeRosa stopping by. There's Rick Shue, the new hitting coach of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Second time he's been at the big league level as a hitting coach. Reynolds pops it up on the infield. Infield fly rule here. Fontenot makes the catch. 2 outs. It's a big second out for Rich Hill. Let's see, Rick Shue is your hitting coach, right? 2004.
Had him there in 04. He was a guy that we brought up because of his experience with all the young players that we had back in 04. He had all those guys in the minor leagues and was very aware of their strengths and limitations. Very studious hitting coach. Keeps copious notes on every at-bat, the sequences that a pitcher uses against certain hitters. Looks at hitters on other ball clubs who are similar to his own hitters and tries to figure out how opposing pitchers are going to attack them.
Rick Shue played third base in the infield for 9 seasons. Producer Pete Toma, a huge Rick Shue fan, former Philly, Oriole, Tiger, Angel, and Expo. He had big shoes to fill in Philadelphia. There was a guy named Mike Schmidt before him.
He was pretty good.
And why was he good? He went to Ohio.
He went to Ohio University. That's right.
The 0-1 to Scott Hairston. Low 1-1.
Yeah, we'd like to see a Mike Schmidt-like play right here to get Rich Hill out of this jam with 2 outs.
Hasn't been that easy for Hill today. 50 pitches here early on. Skied to left. The flip down's working for Soriano. And the D-backs strand 3 in the inning. They've left 5 on through 3. They lead 1-0.
I'm on the 415. Let's see what kind of plane you'll be on today.
Step over there and spin that wheel. Come on.
Come on, big plane.
Woo, big plane, big plane, big plane. Big plane, big plane. No. Small plane.
On Southwest Airlines, you'll never fly in a small plane. We guarantee every seat on every flight is on a big, comfortable Boeing 737.
You are now free to move about the country.
Wouldn't you know it? One moment we're on the road to romance, when suddenly it gets interrupted. That's why for guys like me with ED, there's Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both go to work fast in as little as 30 minutes for some men and work up to 36 hours. The fact that Cialis can work fast is great, but having up to 36 hours gives me the option of being ready once the moment is finally right.
Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medications and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Why ask your doctor about Cialis? Because even after an interruption, you can still be ready.
When the moment is right, you can be ready with Cialis.
The new Turtle Waffle Bowl Sundae at Dairy Queen with creamy DQ soft serve, pecans, and... Wait, is it pecans or pecans? Pecans? Okay. Pecans and gooey caramel. Or is it caramel? Do one.
24. Saturdays at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
WGN, Woods getting near. That's right, Kerry Wood was scheduled to pitch again today in Mesa before getting on a plane and flying to Chicago for his big charity bowling tournament tomorrow to benefit Project 3000. 1-0 Arizona. And Rich Hill at the plate, Soriano and Terrio after him.
Would he be throwing strikes today and rolling strikes tomorrow?
And I'm guessing that he may just watch and shake hands.
Usually swinging a 16-pound ball is not part of your rehab. No. Well, you could bowl overhand, I guess.
Or left-handed. Ooh, overhand?
Yeah. Ooh. Put it right in there.
There have been some big leaguers who've been terrific bowlers over the years. I know Bob Apodaca, one of the great bowlers.
John Burkett.
Yeah. Right.
You know, when John Burkett was a member of the San Francisco Giants and I was on that coaching staff, every time we went to St. Louis and you couldn't find John Burkett, he'd be over at the Bowling Hall of Fame. Right across the street from Old Busch Stadium. Not far from New Busch Stadium.
Yeah, Bob Apodaca, the pitching coach for the Rockies, former big league right-handers, bowled a couple of 300 games. His name is in the National Bowling Hall of Fame in St. Louis. I'm so bad at bowling. The last time I went, they actually had the bumpers because we had our son with us. I think I was still like 98. And I couldn't even throw a gutter ball, and you know, I'd be lucky if I could get 3 pins. It's not as easy as it looks.
Try overhand. Works for me.
And they're now painting across the street. Cubs blue.
Well, those guys have been working by the next homestand. Those stands will be filled with Cubs fans.
Now you can get a pretty good view from there of our podcast studios, although you have to turn a little bit. Rich Hill with a base hit. Excellent at bat, and it's the first hit for the Cubs.
There's the kind of quality at bats you like to see out of all your hitters, let alone your pitcher. Rich Hill really working hard that at bat, fouling off some tough pitches, and finally gets a ball out over the plate, smokes it back up the middle of the field. I just got a text message from a friend back in Arizona that reminds me that Tom Candiotti in the radio booth for the Arizona Diamondbacks was just inducted into the Bowling Hall of Fame.
Oh. Well, there you go.
Tom Candiotti, a longtime knuckleball pitcher in the major leagues. He's good at least 2 sports.
Well, I'll tell you, you know who probably enjoyed that Rich Hill single more than anybody in the ballpark? Ron Santo. I think I mentioned this on the air recently. The only advice Ron will give as far as hitting tips is to the pitchers. And I was around Ron recently, and he was talking to Rich about keeping his balance, that nice short swing.
There's Tom Candiotti, longtime major league pitcher. Used to float that knuckleball up there. And a great bowler. We'll see at a tournament in Arizona. I think that was last year. Luis Gonzalez, Russ Ortiz at a bowling tournament.
Nice job by Mark Stencil in our production truck. All over it. Two and one the count. on Soriano. Fouled back.
You know, I guess driving in runners in scoring positions is a lot like picking up a spare in bowling. You know, it's right there for you. You just knock them down. You score big. You get those guys in scoring position, come up with the big knock. We're trying.
Try to make that connection. You know, Tom Candiotti has a very interesting story involving Barry Bonds. First a 2-2 to Soriano, fouled away. He gave up what should have been a home run to Bonds back in 1996 at Candlestick Park. It hit a back wall in right center, bounced back onto the field. It was for some reason ruled a double, but it should have been a home run. So Barry Bonds with 753 home runs really should have 754. And you know what? There may be more like that.
I bet there are.
Called strike 3. And Soriano's out. It's the first out of the inning. Ryan Terrio batting. Rich Hill still at first base. Pitch. Ball one. Hey, Pat and Ron have bobbleheads today as well. He's also showing you his hair.
Boy, I thought Jay Blunt did me a favor.
Is his hair removable on that bobblehead?
The retractable dome.
Yeah, that's right. We got it.
Does Pats have a sweater on?
No. Staring up into the heavens. Base hit left field. First and second.
Stays hot, continues to grind every at bat. Talked about it about 2 weeks ago. It seems like Ryan Terrio comes up with a lot of big base hits in his last at bat of the ball game. Sometimes he'll be 0 for 3 or 0 for 4 in the game, but when he comes up in the 8th or 9th inning in a key situation, he still continues to put together real good at bats.
Jamaica loves our Cubs. Outside on Fontenot. 2 hits, a walk, 2 steals, 3 runs yesterday, a walk and a stolen base today. Owings coming back. Missed again. Ramirez lurking on deck. He struck out in the first inning with runners on. First pitch was up and in, and he didn't like it. One thing to consider with Micah Owings, teams against him get a lot better every time through the order. Opponents have hit 233 the first time through, 250 the second time, but it's the third time, 410. Called strike, 2-1.
I think one way to explain those numbers against Micah Owings, he doesn't change speeds a lot. He throws a lot of fastballs, a lot of hard sliders. He'll mix in an occasional changeup to a left-handed hitter, but everything is pretty close to the same velocity. His fastball, as I mentioned earlier, 88, 89, 90, pretty much regular. There's that hard slider on the outside corner, a very hard pitch as well. Eventually you go to the plate realizing that you're not going to see anything off speed. Called strike on the back door right there. A little tailing fastball.
His changeup's been inconsistent lately, and as Bob mentioned earlier, he struggled, losing his last 4 decisions. Fouled back by Fontenot. Tomorrow it'll be Yusmeiro Petit, a right-hander, Sean Marshall, a left-hander for the Cubs. Petit was called up in early July when the big unit went back to the disabled list. Randy Johnson currently on the shelf for the 3rd time this year. Check swing, they'll look down to third base, and Angel Hernandez said nope. 3-2. Now you would think about sending the runners, but you have the pitcher as the lead guy at second base. Does that change your thought process?
Well, absolutely it does. If it was a different pitcher, maybe Jason Marquis or Ted Lilly, guys who have proven they're athletic on the bases, maybe you think about it, but might not want to take that same chance with Rich Hill.
They're not running. Jackson, Drew, pitcher covering. It's late. So it'll be first and third for Ramos as Terrio eliminated.
We mentioned the first at bat of the ball game for Aramis Ramirez. The first pitch he saw, he got a real good look at it. Micah Owings runs on right underneath his chin. Diamondbacks catcher Chris Snyder quickly got out in front of Ramirez to prevent anything further from happening. And it's fortunate we have the umpiring crew we have here today. Even though it was just one step out of the box toward the mound, for some of the crews that would have been enough to eject Aramis Ramirez. Fortunately, Larry Young, after talking it over with home plate umpire Ted Barrett, decided to allow Ramirez to stay in the ballgame.
In this exact spot, Ramos has come through big time, particularly lately. Tell you what, if the Cubs win the division or take the wild card, well, even if they don't, but the way they're playing right now, they're going to have a great shot. Ramos is going to get some MVP votes. He has put his candidacy on the map with all these huge hits. Steps off and looks at first. Fontenot had a short lead. Kick and a pitch, fouled straight back on a fastball, 1-2. The key here is just to look at the losses. When the Cubs just 2 back, you can make up the wins but not the losses, and in the wild card only 1 down on the loss column. With the Dodgers leading, they're a percentage point behind San Diego. The Padres leading the National League West.
Well, that blue flag on the bottom is slowly sneaking up on that yellow one. I think it's about 2.5 inches below right now.
That's high. Without Derek Lee in the lineup this year, Aramis Ramirez hitting well over 400, so he has picked up the slack. The pitch. Just got a piece of it.
There was finally a straight changeup from Micah Owings, up and out over the plate. Ramirez able just to get a piece of it. This is usually the situation where he goes to the slider. He has almost a 50-50 split against right-handed hitters with fastballs and sliders. That's the pitch he likes to go to in 2 strike counts.
Two. We'll do it again. A perfect way to spend a Saturday afternoon. Here we go again on another 2-2. Inside again, full count.
The difference with that pitch was it was below the shoulders. That ball was about elbow high inside, just kind of bends Ramirez back a little bit. Most hitters don't get upset over this one. It's that one that gets up above the shoulders.
Fans getting up. Bontano will run on the 3-2. There he goes. Nice play by the pitcher Owings. He'll underhand and hit back to the dugout, leading 1-0.
What up, P?
Yo, I got an idea.
Hey, Mr. Opportunity again. And if you wish you were driving that beautiful Accord, well, now's the time to make it happen, because it's the Honda clearance. So it's your chance to choose the Accord sedan of your dreams for a deal that's absolutely dreamy.
Hey, way to go, Mr. O.
Looks like another satisfied customer. The 2007 Honda clearance. Now you can lease a Honda Accord for $199 a month for well-qualified customers. I'm Mr. Opportunity. I'm back. And I'm knocking.
For my sport, the only sunscreen is Coppertone Sport.
It protects me from damaging UVA and UVB rays.
And it doesn't run in my eyes, no matter how hard I sweat.
Coppertone Sport, high-performance sunscreens.
This summer, get the sunblock that also blocks the bite. Bullfrog Mosquito Coast Sunblock and Repellent. Up to 8-hour protection against harmful rays and pesky bites without the odor. Bullfrog Mosquito Coast. Block the burn and the bite.
We fell so madly in love.
Rob loves me for who I am. It's really amazing to feel that Harut loves me so unconditionally.
This is eHarmony.com, where thousands of people have found that one special person to accept and love them for who they really are. And right now you can log on to eHarmony.com and review your matches all for free. Aren't you curious to see who you're compatible with?
We were just so overwhelmed because it was love at first sight.
eHarmony.com.
Diamondbacks with a 1-0 lead as we head to the top half of the fourth inning. Mike Owings getting out of a big jam there. Got a Ramos Ramirez to tap back to the mound on a slider away. Gets the easy out at first. Jogs off the field. No big deal. Gonna be cool where the fans can see me and the cameras are on. As soon as I get in the dugout, doggone it. Upset with himself for allowing a couple runners to reach base in that inning. Made a couple mistakes up in the zone, but to his credit, he waited till he got back to the dugout. And I'm not so sure he said doggone it. I'm just speculating.
Well, that's what guys normally say. Well, there was a Cubs player, don't want to mention who it was, who showed me a cracked helmet the other day. A little, as we call in the biz, snappage.
Snappage.
But we won't tell you who that guy was. Try to protect the innocent or guilty in this case. Hint.
They just don't make helmets like they used to.
No, they don't. Drew turns on it. Pagan coming over, and he has it.
Angel Pagan has been a natural center fielder throughout most of his career, forced to play right field with the alignment that the Cubs are using now, and gets great jumps in right field as well. There's a difference in the way an outfielder runs as opposed to a catcher or an infielder. The outfielder always seems, the good outfielders always seem to glide. Very soft on their feet. Their head stays very level as they track those line drives and fly balls. And Angel is one of the best at keeping his head still as he chases those balls in right field.
Snyder's singled in his first at bat in the second. And he looks at a knee-high strike on a breaking ball. 0-2 the count. Got a nice note from Rich Alvarado. Works here at Wrigley Field. Wanted us to say hi to his good friend George Polis. He watches every broadcast. George was a basketball player under Ray Meyer at DePaul. And he's been battling MS. So hang in there, George, and we appreciate you watching every day. The 1-2 is inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Were you out late last night? I know that you were going to get the new and I guess last Harry Potter book. I heard rumors that you were in line at midnight.
Once again, another example why you should never listen to rumors. I have never cracked a Harry Potter book. I'll leave it to those who enjoy that.
Okay. Mike Owings will bat with 2 outs and nobody on. Have you ever done that for a new album or CD? You know, they go on sale at midnight. They open the record store and you get in line at 11:57 to make sure you buy it the minute it's available. You don't have to do that anymore. You can just download it.
I always found it was easier to go in the day before and grease one of the employees to drop a CD behind the counter somewhere, and I'd come pick it up later.
Owings broke his bat. Good thing he did because he hit it pretty well. Jones makes a catch in left center. It's the first 1-2-3 inning for Rich Hill. 1-0 Arizona.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Perfect.
All malt.
Always perfect.
All imported noble aroma hops. Together in a classic European-style brewing tradition.
Back together again. Yeah.
The beer brewed for connoisseurs. All malt makes all the difference. Experience the unmistakable taste of Michelob. Distinct by design.
The latest Turtle Wax breakthrough in car polish is Clear. Crystal Clear Turtle Wax Ice, a clarified synthetic carnauba that performs like no other polish or wax. Ice leaves no white residue on trim or in seams.
I had no residue whatsoever. It was perfect.
Clear and deep, and it really brings out the shine.
Now, your choice is clear. New Crystal Clear Ice from Turtle Wax. World leader through innovation.
Try new Turtle Wax Ice Liquid Clay Bar to deep clean and restore your car's finish in one easy step.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old town.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Members of the Bob Brenly fan club also a little statement there as we step aside to see what's coming up on WGN.
Make every second count. Don't miss the award-winning series 24 with Kiefer Sutherland tonight at 11:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Sailboats are cruising along on a windy day out on Lake Michigan.
Yeah, the only Potter I'm familiar with is Colonel Henry from MASH.
That's right. 1-0 Arizona. They got an unearned run in the first.
I'll tell you who probably did stand in line to get the new Harry Potter book is my real good friend Matt Reuter, who's celebrating a 35th birthday today. I'm sure that was at the top of his list for a birthday present. Happy birthday, Matt Reuter.
2-1 the count on Jock Jones. And a couple of matches from the Big Brothers Big Sisters program here in Chicago. Visiting the ballpark. Deep left field. Hairston back on it. Going to be over his head, and one hops the ivy. Jones on his way to second. It'll be a double to start the fourth. First extra base hit for either team today.
Well, you know when Jock Jones is going good at the plate, this is his signature hit, a drive to the opposite field. Not a lazy fly ball or a ground ball through the left side. He drives that ball with authority to left field. That ball just shot over the head of Scott Hairston. Short hops the wall, and Hairston took his eye off the ball there momentarily, trying to get it back in quickly. I think J.J. was going to end up with a double either way.
Now Mark DeRosa. Mark's brother Kevin in town for the weekend. I'm not sure where Kevin lives now, but has that New Jersey accent. Mark's from Passaic.
Now, people from Jersey don't ask what city you're from. They say what exit. I'm not sure what exit Passaic might be. I'm sure Mark knows.
That's a strike, 1-1. The offense has been quiet early, but not the case the last 3 games. 27 runs on 35 hits for the Cubs, all wins. Yeah, the matches from Big Brothers Big Sisters visiting today through the Blue for Kids umpire program. They visited not only the umpire room today, came up to the booth as well before the ball game, and also visited our production truck. Michael Brown and his little brother Sebastian, and Johnston Ariel and his little brother Cortez. It was great to see them today. Count even on DeRosa. Pagan next. Good chance here for the Cubs to at least tie it. Runner in scoring position with nobody out.
It may be a little tougher to do now with 2 strikes, but you'd like to see Mark DeRosa move that ball to the right side somehow. Normally he is very good at that, and he can still do it with 2 strikes, but got a real good pitch to swing at on that last one. Fouled it straight back. Looking to drive home Jock from second base any way he can.
Takes ball 3.
Borderline down. Chris Snyder, the Diamondbacks catcher, certainly wanted that pitch. Took a long time before throwing it back to his pitcher. Maybe just dropped below the knees at the last instant, but when you see a catcher react like Snyder did right there, that means he wanted that pitch.
Owings has a sign he wants. To the belt, now to the plate on a 3-2. He walked him. Good start to the inning, a double and a walk. It's going to be a visit from their pitching coach, Brian Price.
Hey, Cub fans, pull out your disco shirts and platform shoes. Some of you don't need to pull them out. The Cubs take on the Phillies on Tuesday, July 31st at 7:05. Come celebrate 70s night with the legendary Barry Williams, best known as Greg Brady on the Brady Bunch. 70s night is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Fans dressed in the best 70s outfits will receive airline tickets, compliments of Southwest Airlines.
70s night coming up.
Jumped the gun a little bit there, but that's all right.
I think the tie-dye still worked pretty well in the 70s. We always look forward to our outfits for 70s night.
You do?
Yeah. That's more of an 80s look, I think, right there. Cornerman in on the infield, thinking Pagan's going to lay down a bunt. Doesn't show it at all, and swings and misses. And you have the 7-hitter at the plate. If he moves the runners up, you can walk the 8-hitter, try to get the pitcher for the second out, and then you'd have to face Soriano with 2 outs in the inning. But Rich Hill with the first hit today for the Cubs. Having said that, he's still just 4 for 34. Nothing in 2. A 70s night coming up. We'll have it for you on WCIU channel 26 and Cubsnet. Set your DVRs and VCRs or whatever sort of recording device you have, so you can laugh at our expense. Pagan turns on it to right, and Jones will be able to come around and score easily. DeRosa right on his heels. Pagan the third. A sliding triple on an 0-2 pitch. And the Cubs lead 2-1. That was not a very good at bat when it started, but it ended up being a great one.
He got the same pitch he swung through just a couple of pitches before, that slider down and in. This time he's ready for it, gets the bat head on it, drives it into the corner in right field. Long run for Eric Burns, and he gets out there to the track and really has some problems fumbling that ball up against the ivy. Clears the bases. Pagan at third with a triple. You see the long run for Burns. He finally gets to the ball, flips it over his own shoulder into the vines right there. But fortunate for him, he was able to find that ball in the ivy. If he starts fumbling around and can't find it, Pagan comes all the way around.
Still no outs. The infield drawn in. Coy Hill with a career high 5 RBIs on Wednesday versus San Francisco. We talk a lot about salvage. You go 0 for your first 3 or 4, then you get a hit in your last at bat. Angel Pagan did it in 1 at bat. He salvaged that at bat with a triple. For that second swing in particular, you could just see the look on his face. So why did I swing at that?
It's all about making adjustments. You know, he saw that good slider from Micah Owings break down and in out of the strike zone, tried to check his swing, and then when he got the same pitch later in the sequence, he was all over it.
Gerald Perry, the Cubs hitting coach. Now, I know you agree, the coaching staff always the unsung heroes. When the team plays well, they work so hard. They don't want to take any of the credit. Alan Trammell, the bench coach. Long pause, now a 2-2. Inside, 3-2.
Well, you're absolutely right, Lynn. Coaches, they never get enough credit when things go good. It's just because the players are playing good. And they always take too much of the blame when things go poorly. Just ask Kevin Seitzer, who was fired as the Diamondbacks hitting coach just a couple of weeks ago, taking the fall for an offense that's just not swinging the bats well.
Larry Rothschild and the Cubs pitching staff right now 3rd in the league in earned run average. Meanwhile, Micah Owings coming up with his 19th pitch of the inning, and he hasn't gotten an out. Hudson, who is drawn in, going out. This is going to be trouble, and he makes the catch over the shoulder, running away from home plate, and Pagan has to hold at third. 2-time Gold Glover Orlando Hudson with a great play. He was way in at a long run.
That's an RBI dunker if Hudson doesn't go out and make this over-the-shoulder catch. This is not easy at all. Looking back up into the sun. Nice over-the-shoulder catch by the Gold Glove.
Now on that play, you saw Chris Young was in the vicinity and might have been able to make the catch, but does it get tricky if you're an outfielder and the infielder can't see? I mean, you're worried about a collision that Hudson's not going to peel off?
Well, and I think given the experience of Orlando Hudson as compared to the experience of Chris Young in center field, the young player is probably going to defer to the veteran Gold Glover, even though it was a tough catch for Orlando Hudson. I mean, if Chris Young is sure he can get under that ball and make the catch, then absolutely you call him off.
Hill trying to make some contact. 1-1. And Ronnie, I'm sure, screaming from the radio booth, shorten up. Smacked a single into center in the third inning. Former Cub Juan Cruz is up. The pitch. Made some contact, but a foul ball. 1-2. Mike Quaddy, the third base coach, chatting with Pagan. And Sinatra across the way at first base. Just got a little look at Matt. Maybe you heard us talking about him. On the back of his pants. Catching instructor, first base coach, and Quaddy works with the outfielders, and base runners. Three and two the count.
Angel Pagan jumping around down there at third base a little bit might have distracted Mike Owings. Normally you don't see a squeeze attempt on a two-strike count, especially not with Alfonso Soriano in the on-deck circle, but Pagan came jumping down that line like he was going to break for home plate.
The 3-2 pitch to Hill, a swing and a miss, strike three, and 2 outs. Well, we got an email from Keith Katzenberger, Captain K.C. Katzenberger of the U.S. Army, enjoying the game today on the Armed Forces Network from Iraq. Wanted to say hi to family and friends in Crystal Lake. From COB Spiker, I guess that's how you say it, to Crete, Iraq. Thank you for the email. That email, the classification was unclassified. Because, I mean, you wouldn't want to read classified information on the air.
No. We don't want to get involved with that. I get the willies just looking at the advance reports down in the coaches' rooms. I don't want to read any classified information.
2 strikes on Soriano. Angel Pagan giving the Cubs the lead with a 2-run triple. Rainbow to right. Eric Burns camped under it, and that's the inning. Well, just to give you a taste of 70s night. How about those shirts?
weather was so much better yesterday.
A bad day in Florida beats a good day almost anywhere else. Just go to Southwest.com for Southwest Airlines $79 internet specials from Chicago Midway to Florida. Purchased by July 26th, only at Southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country.
One morning you wake up and there it is, gray hair. And you wonder, will people see me for who I really am? How do you break out of that?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy with 5-minute target gray technology.
Today's a whole new ball game. And then you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
Golfbot.com is going to change history. It's going to be big. Bigger than the Big Mac.
They say it's going to be bigger than the Big Mac. Yeah, they're geniuses.
I heard it's supposed to be bigger than a Big Mac.
We should get in on that.
Bigger than the Big Mac.
It better be with all this hype.
Come on. Bigger than a Big Mac. At least, I mean, if not bigger.
Right, here we go.
Ooh. Not quite as big as the Big Mac, huh?
With 100% beef, nothing tops the Big Mac.
Watch Funniest Pets and People and get your groove on. Kick up your heels. Maybe do-si-do or do-si don't. Watch people and their pets get funky. It's so funny, it'll bring you to your knees. Boogie down with Funniest Pets and People. Weekends at 7, only on Superstation WGN.
Top of the order now for Arizona. Rich Hill working with a lead for the first time today. Coming off a terrific start against the Giants. And he's 3-0 on the leadoff hitter, Chris Young. Hill looking for what would be his career-high 7th win. 8 strong innings his last time out. It was his first victory in 6 starts. First win in over a month. Taken all the way. Fastball right down the middle. Nice changeup from Rich on a 3-1. I'm sure Young was looking for a heater.
And I'm not even sure that was a legitimate straight changeup. It might have just been a fastball that Rich took a lot off of, wanted to throw it over the plate, knew the hitter was looking for a fastball.
There's ball 4. You know, you bring up a very interesting point, and a lot of it's semantics, but it's the idea of what you call a certain pitch. If you throw your fastball at 90 and then that next pitch at 78 and it's not a breaking ball, even if it's a quote BP fastball, I suppose you could call it a changeup, right?
Yeah.
You just kind of choke the ball and don't, same arm action, but it's not as hard.
Change of pace off your fastball. When in those predictable counts where the hitter is sitting on a fastball, anything that you throw that looks like a fastball but is a little bit shorter is going to be a very effective pitch. Some guys feel comfortable going to their changeup grip and throwing a legitimate changeup, and other guys just take a little off their fastball, throw that batting practice heater, the one that just doesn't quite get there as quickly as the other. Heard it called the Peggy Lee fastball because the hitter sees it and says, "Is that all there is?"
Very nice. Foul at the plate. Tim Lincecum and Dave Bush in Milwaukee a little bit later this afternoon. Brad Penny will be on the hill for the Dodgers. You might be thinking Cy Young is 11-1 with a .233. Still a long way to go, though. The other Chris Young leading the National League with a 1.85 earned run average. His teammate Jake Peavy at .230. This will be a base hit, and Chris Young with that excellent speed is going to end up at third base. And the Diamondbacks threatening big time at the corners with no outs. Well, it's that leadoff walk that always seems to come back to bite you.
That just makes things so tough for the remainder of the inning, especially when you have to work your way through the middle of the opponent's order. That was a fastball shoulder high up out over the plate. Hudson just tomahawks that ball into shallow right center, and you mentioned the speed of Young over there at first base makes him advancing to third base very easy.
Burns singled his last time, came in tied for 6th in the National League with 120 knocks. And Bob Nowak would like to wish a speedy recovery to John Anderson from Park Ridge, who's currently in the hospital.
I got to believe we're real close to getting some activity in that Cubs bullpen. The leadoff walk to Young right away, a danger sign here in the top half of the 5th inning, especially after his ball club just gave him a lead in this game. And pitching coaches and managers like to get that starting pitcher an opportunity to win a ball game whenever you can, but the bottom line is you want the team to win the ball game. In order for Rich Hill to win this game, he has to complete this top half of the 5th inning and leave the field with the lead.
Burns waited back on the curve and was way out in front. Still 2-2.
An overwhelming pitch count at this point for Rich Hill. He's probably thrown a lot more than he would like to in this ball game. 3 base on balls already.
As Chip Hale, their third base coach, and rolling towards Michael Wirtz. And say hello to Tom Sorensen, lifelong Cubs fan. Hang in there, Tom. He's in the hospital from Omaha, Nebraska. Another one hit hard. That one right between Young and Hale. Mr. Strode will make that a souvenir.
Give it to a kid. That's close enough.
Big kid.
Big kid.
Hill coming back on a 2-2 ground ball, surrounded by Terrio. Fontenot, did he get one? Yes, he got the out. Larry Young making the call, saying the ball got out as he was trying to pull it out to make the relay throw. The Diamondbacks tie it. Burns with an RBI fielder's choice, 2-2.
Burns kept pulling that breaking ball foul time and time again. Rich Hill finally scooted a pitch out over the plate a little bit where Burns could keep that ground ball fair. He hits it right to Ryan Terrio. Don't believe the Cubs were going to have an opportunity to turn the double play there the way Burns gets out of the box and runs down the line, but they do get the force at second base.
And now Chris Young has scored 3 of the visitors' 4 runs in the series. Count on Jackson. Chris Young, former White Sox prospect. There's another hit. Second of the inning. Mark Reynolds 2 on. As Michael Wirtz continues to loosen in the bullpen, looks like he's ready if needed.
Reynolds, another youngster for the Diamondbacks, is actually hitting almost 45 points higher against right-handed pitching. So Rich Hill will stay in to face at least one more hitter here.
The pitch. Moved his feet. We're looking at Chris Young, acquired from the White Sox with El Duque and Luis Vizcaíno in exchange for Javier Vasquez and cash considerations in December of '05, so prior to 2006. So the White Sox giving up a little bit of their future to acquire Vasquez. Hey, Cub fans, don't forget to check out our baseball blog on WGNTV.com. On the blog today, I have a post about the Cubs' identity. Also, game notes from our friends at Stats Inc. Information and lyrics to Go Cubs Go. We've gotten a lot of emails about that song. And Lee Smith sings the stretch. One runner moving. Good play by Ramirez to knock down that bounced throw. You had Burns running. Jackson, I think, started towards second and then stopped. He would have been in easily, so that's a break for the Cubs, and the double play is still in order.
'25th stolen base of the season for Eric Burns. Just got a huge jump on Rich Hill out there, and Connor Jackson, the trail runner, not much of an adventurous base runner. Only 2 stolen base attempts on the season. Got a bad jump over there at first and decided just to hang on. That is a huge break for the Cubs if Rich Hill can get a ground ball at one of his infielders.
Trying to maintain the tie. Popped up on the bunt, and Hill will make the catch. So did Reynolds do that on his own?
I believe so. I don't think that Bob Melvin would put the sign on to have Reynolds bunt. It looked like he was trying to bunt for a base hit right there all the way. Just popped it up in front of the mound. Easy play for Rich Hill. Outsmarting himself a little bit. If his manager wanted him to bunt, he'd put the bunt sign on. Showing some confidence in the young player, letting him swing away in that situation, and tries to bunt for a base hit and pops it up out front. Very frustrating. What you want to know as a manager after that is, what were you thinking? Not that you're necessarily wrong. Maybe you have a real good reason why you thought that was a good pitch to try to bunt for a base hit, but you better have a good reason. It's all part of the learning process for these young players. Try to understand situational baseball, what's called for in each individual situation, and that could change from pitch to pitch during your at-bat.
Up by Hairston on the left side, and it's Ramirez in foul ground to make the catch. Well, Hill gave up 1, but that inning could have turned out much worse. It's 2-2.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits. Sweet. Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
Do the soup, salad, and breadsticks lunch at Olive Garden? We start with the salad, then pass around the breadsticks, and finish with the perfect bite.
Our unlimited fresh salad, homemade soup, and warm breadsticks lunch, just $5.95, only at Olive Garden.
Heartburn? Painful.
Zantac.
Okay.
Better? Completely. Zantac's fast. Maximum strength Zantac after a meal quickly relieves heartburn.
Dinner?
Sure.
Zantac.
First.
Prevents?
Definitely. Zantac's fast. Maximum strength Zantac before a meal prevents heartburn. Heartburn?
Yeah.
Prescription.
Slow.
The leading prescription can take a day or more to fully work.
Zantac.
Better. Zantac's fast. For heartburn, why wait? Zantac's fast.
They've always brought you great rooms at great rates. And now, the experts at Hotels.com are the first to bring you flexible booking, which lets you change or even cancel your reservation without any fees from us. So you don't have to worry if your plans change. And with the lowest price guaranteed, you never have to worry about paying too much. That's what flexible booking is all about. Just log on or call our certified experts now to find out more. Hotels.com. We know hotels inside and out.
American Idol Rewind. Saturdays on Superstation WGN.
Chris Young scoring the second run today. Tying run. He walked to lead off the fifth. And a good job by Rich Hill to eventually get out of the inning, and changes for the Diamondbacks. Jeff DeVannon's now playing right field with Eric Burns moving over to left. And former Cub Juan Cruz is now on the mound. So Owings is out.
Cruz has done a nice job for the Diamondbacks, pitching mostly in middle relief. 3-1 record, 303 earned run average in 35 2/3 innings pitched. He's held the opposition to a 224 batting average. Still a big-time strikeout pitcher, 49 punch-outs.
So essentially, Bob Melvin gets Owings out of the game before he has to go through the order for the third time. The only guy he faced 3 times was the leadoff man, Soriano. Terrio flies to center. 1 out and a 2-2 tie. Hey, Cub fans, we'll record a fresh new WGN baseball podcast after the game today. It will be ready for downloading and viewing on WGNTV.com Monday morning. So make sure you check it out. Go to WGNTV.com, click on the link for the podcast, download, and enjoy.
Studios are really looking good. Almost 100% occupancy. All the units that we do not need in the production of our podcast have been rented out to various business entities.
It's a big operation.
Oh, it really is. Big business.
Fouled back by Fontenot. Mike in Augusta, Georgia. Isn't it about time for new mugs of you guys whenever you promo Len and Bob's weekly podcast? After all, Len, you have less and much nicer hair now than 2 years ago. Yeah, you know, it's not a bad idea. Probably updated a little bit. Burns tracking. He's going to try to scale the wall as it's out of play.
That is a human coffee bean. He has absolutely no chance whatsoever to even come close to that baseball, but just for exercise and just in case he ever does have to climb that wall at some point in the future, he wanted to experience what it felt like.
Just a little bit outside. If you are scoring at home, Jeff DeVannon now in the 9th spot. Cruz in there where Hairston was. And the 6th hole. Ramirez on deck. The last 2 barely missing for Juan Cruz. He walked him. Time now to have a ball with our friends at the Illinois Lottery. A young Cub fan in the 9th inning thought that was strike 3 from Bob Howery. Nail biting time, and eventually it was strike 3. He was so into it. It's heartbreaking to see him realize that it wasn't strike 3.
Valuable life lesson learned there, young man.
1-out walk to Fontenot. Ramirez at the plate. A 1-0 count on him. The pitch. 1-1.
When you think about it, Len, we see so many signs here at Wrigley Field every day. My first Cub game, you know, and various ages of these youngsters taking in their first Cubs game. And to be here at Wrigley Field on a stretch like this where the ball club's playing well, there's a buzz in the stands, the fans are really into the game. What a great memory to have for the rest of your life. My first Cubs game was unbelievable. You should have seen it.
Well, there have been a lot of those on this homestand. Cruz missed some time with a sprained right shoulder earlier in the season. Missed 18 games on the DL. Now back by Ramos. Chris Snyder with a nice catch on the carom. Cruz signed originally by the Cubs out of the Dominican Republic in 1997. Opening day 2003 at Shea Stadium tied a Cubs record by striking out 6 consecutive hitters in relief. In all, he would tie a club record with 8 straight strikeouts because he struck out 2 the next outing at Cincinnati. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that's a throw him out as well. Strike him out, throw him out. Double play to end the inning. We're tied here in game 2. It's 2-2 to the 6th.
And now, here are today's midday winning lottery numbers.
Ted Danson is the doctor who specializes in sarcasm. Becker, late nights on Superstation WGN.
Okay, class. If you're in the South, you say, "Hey, feller, give me a Bud Light." "Hey, feller, give me a Bud Light." In New York, you say, "Hey, give me a Bud Light." You got a problem with that?
Bud Light, you got a problem with that.
In East LA, you say, "Give me a Bud Light, Holmes."
Give me a Bud Light, Holmes.
More importantly, if somebody asks you for a Bud Light, you say, "Don't speak English."
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Bud Light?
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
That's cold.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old time.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Okay, I'm Mr. Opportunity. And if I'm around, that means now's your chance to pick a beautiful Accord, the popular Civic, a versatile Pilot, a very cool Odyssey, or any other Honda you've been yearning for at a price that'll bring music to your ears.
Hi! Nice to see you again, Mr. O.
Hey, seems like I'm kind of popular this time of year. The 2007 Honda Clearance. Now you can lease a Honda Accord for $199 a month for well-qualified customers. I'm Mr. Opportunity. I'm back, and I'm knocking.
2-2 tie. Rich Hill still working. Micah Owings out of the game. It's Stephen Drew, Chris Snyder, and Jeff DeVanden. Drew, a first-round pick out of Florida State in 2004. Signed the following May. Played in the independent Atlantic League prior to joining the Diamondbacks. He's not the first Drew to hold out. Brother of J.D. and Tim Drew, all of whom were first-rounders. Foul on a play, back of the dugout. for the matchup. The Phillies and the Padres coming up.
It's old timers game.
Jamie Moyer and David Wells. A combined age of 88 years and 307 days. So the second oldest pitching matchup, if you add them up, ever. June 8th, 1987. Don Sutton, then of the Angels, and Phil Niekro of the Cleveland Indians. A combined 90 years, 135 days old. So they'll match up at Petco Park. It'll be late tonight in San Diego. Here's the 95th pitch for Rich Hill. And Stephen Drew hanging in. Cubs strength and conditioning coach Tim Buss would like to wish his brother-in-law Doug Broderson a happy birthday. From Newton, Iowa, happy 49. Or thereabouts. Might be off by 10 or 15 years, one way or the other.
Is Newton, Iowa, where Bussy is inducted into the Hall of Fame there, the High School Hall of Fame?
The High School Hall of Fame in Newton, Iowa.
Those are the kind of things that are tremendous honors for the individual that it's bestowed upon, but he took a lot of heat from his teammates. Called him HOF most of the year last year, Hall of Famer.
He was thrown under the bus, so to speak, BUSS. Well, Jake Fox turning 25 yesterday. He wanted that to go unnoticed. Drew gets the walk. That was an 11-pitch sequence. Let's take a look at today's Honda Civic Games summary. Chris Young has had a big series. RBIs today, Hudson and Burns for the Diamondbacks. The big hit for the Cubs, Angel Pagan. A two-run triple. Jock Jones starting the fourth inning with a double. DeRosa walk. They both would come around to score. Get performance and save gas. Test drive a new Civic at your Honda dealer today. Yeah, the new Cub, Jake Fox. I said happy birthday to him yesterday and today. He said I wanted to kind of keep it quiet around here. Well, I think it's based on what you just said about a major league clubhouse. He said, but we made it through okay.
Jake Fox was taking some abuse from his teammates today. Apparently when the starting lineup was posted on the board at the end of the Cubs clubhouse, Jake Fox checked it about every 5 minutes, hoping that the names would change and he'd find his way into the starting lineup today. Teammates were really giving him a hard time. It's not going to change, Foxy. You can look all you want. It's not going to change.
Now the leadoff walk came back to hurt Hill in the fifth as Young would eventually score. Back our way off the bat of Chris Snyder. Well, Jake getting an opportunity to watch his former college battery mate. Jake Fox and Rich Hill were both Michigan Wolverines at one point.
Well, I'll tell you, Len, during the course of this homestand, it's been a very good homestand for the Cubs pitching staff, but it seems like the pitch counts have been run up extremely high via the foul ball. Guys just staying alive, fouling off pitch after pitch after pitch.
Ted Lilly had a first inning the other day like this, and Rich Hill had a start against Milwaukee in which he gave up a bevy or a plethora of foul balls.
Drew on at first base fouled off 7 balls in his at bat. Up over the 100 pitch mark now for Rich Hill.
Talking to Ted, he said I mixed things up. I made adjustments, but they just kept fouling him off, and sometimes you just have to give the hitter some credit for being able to hang in. As frustrating as that can be. They've hit 11 foul balls already this inning. It's only the second batter. Ted Lilly has quietly put together a very solid year. He has 10 wins. Wirtz is going to get back up. Scott Ayers is going to join him. Lou Piniella showing confidence in Scott Ayers, getting him ready in a tie game. Pagan calling off Jones. 1 out. Well, we get all sorts of great information on a daily basis from the great folks at Stats Inc. And the Cubs also use a lot of reports. Stats Advantage, that red binder that Matt Sinatro has. They've got all the splits and what guys do in certain situations.
Every bit of information you could possibly want to plan your strategy as a manager, as a coaching staff over there. Each batter against each individual pitcher. What counts are balls put into play? Where are they put into play? Tendencies of a manager. What counts does he like to hit and run? What counts does he like to squeeze? Steal bases? What counts do they pitch out? All information that you search through and try to find tendencies, try to find situations where you can put your players in a very favorable situation for them to come through.
And that black binder, I know those pages because I have them, and that is the batter versus pitcher report. What each opposing hitter does against your pitchers and what your hitters do against their pitchers.
And all that information will tell you statistically what has happened. But to take it a step further, that when your advanced scout comes in and, for example, a guy is 10 for 20 lifetime against this pitcher, but the advanced scout tells me that of the 10 base hits, 2 of them were infield hits where he broke his bat and beat it out at first. 2 of them were pop-ups that fell in front of the outfielder, and a couple more were just ground balls that happened to find holes. So maybe the numbers say this guy's hitting 500 against my pitcher, but he hasn't hit the ball well. And the advanced scout will notice those kind of things. Who's swinging well right now, who's not swinging well right now, and then the historical numbers will give you kind of an overview. The advanced scouting report gives you more of a close-up of what's happening right now.
And you get a more detailed batter versus pitcher in that you find out what guys have done lately.
Yeah, and mine goes back the last 20 at-bats that a hitter's had against an individual pitcher. And, you know, once again, for example, if a guy is, say, 5 for 20 against a pitcher, but all 5 hits came in his first 5 at-bats and he's 0 for his last 15, well, there's definitely a pattern there. So, yeah, I prefer the one that lists all the at-bats going over the last 20.
Can you read that small writing?
Yes, I can, with ease.
You know, and along those lines, talking with Cubs assistant general manager Randy Bush, pushed a 1-2 to DeBannon. Now they're foul. He said exactly what you said. He's going to go scout the Cubs minor league system coming up. And they do look at numbers when they think about guys who may come up, but they look at guys who are hot. He said over the course of a season, every major league player is going to have some up streaks and some down streaks. And guys who come up, sometimes you look at their numbers and you go, wow, okay. But it's how he's done lately. Called strike 3 on a curveball for out number 2. So you want to get that guy like Scott Moore, for instance, who's in his hottest streak of the year. And those are the guys they say, okay, here's a guy who can help us right now.
The same thing when you call down in the minor leagues for a pitcher when you need help at the major league level. It's not always the marquee name. It's not always the #1 draft pick. It might not even be the guy who's leading the AAA team in wins and ERA. It'll be the guy who is throwing the ball best right now. And you get into the development issue as well. Sometimes you'd rather have a young guy continue to have success at a minor league level before you bring him up to the big leagues. Other guys are maybe a little better suited mentally to coming up to the major leagues and possibly struggling a little bit in their first go round. So a lot of factors enter into it. It's never as easy as just saying, you know, send me all the #1 draft picks we have in the minor leagues.
Well, I'll give you a good example just in this series. Chris Young came into the game today hitting .233, but he's one of those guys in this lineup that you don't want to beat you because he has gotten on base. He had a 2-run homer yesterday and has that excellent speed. So while the numbers would say that you can go right after him, you want to be a little bit careful with Chris Young because he's hot. He did get on via the error in the first inning, came around to score, struck out in the third, walked in the fifth, hit the home run in game 1. There's 15 home runs on the year. Hudson on deck. Drew hasn't moved from first base after the leadoff base on balls. That's low.
Diamondbacks have been extremely aggressive with runners at second base against Rich Hill, but it doesn't look like they're getting a very good read on his move over there at first base.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So Rich Hill has really had to battle today to get through 6. Still giving his team a chance. It's 2-2.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi.
What up, P?
Yo, I got an idea.
Another good thing about Geico is they've got, like, real live people working there 24/7. So, like, say you need to report a claim, right? A real person will be there to help you. Then you can use Geico.com to view photos of the damage, track your claim, print an estimate. You want an English muffin? They literally hand you a toasted muffin with butter and jam. Oh, it's tasty. That's a complete dramatisation, of course, but you get my point.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The new Turtle Waffle Bowl Sundae at Dairy Queen with creamy DQ soft serve, pecans, and... Wait, is it pecans or pecans? Pecans? Okay. Pecans and gooey caramel. Or is it caramel? Do one.
Introducing Payne's newest Vanishing Act.
New Icy Hot Vanishing Scent. Now the power of Icy Hot glides on icy to dull paint, then gets hot to relax it away, and the scent vanishes.
New Icy Hot Vanishing Scent. Make pain and scent a vanishing act.
From one jungle to another, things are getting a little wild. Tim Allen, Jungle to Jungle. Today at 4 Eastern.
Hey, music fans, 311 is coming to the Charter One Pavilion on Northerly Island with special guest Mattis Yahoo on Saturday, August 11th. Part of the Bud Light Concert Series. Tickets are on sale now. For tickets, visit livenation.com or call Ticketmaster at 312-559-1212. Bud Light and live music, always worth it. Cubs trying to snap a 2-2 deadlock. Big swing by Jock Jones. He missed it. Strike one. Coy Hill and Rich Hill talking things over. Got to believe Rich is done. 116 pitches, a season high. To get through 6, 2 runs, 1 earned. Lou talked about this very issue before the ball game. Someone asked him about pitch counts. Jock Jones high in the air, got under it. The wind not helping him. And it's caught by Young. 120 pitches is kind of that point that a lot of people look at, and Lou rattled it off. He said, we've only hit 120 pitches with a starter 3 times, and every time has been Carlos Zambrano. So they watch it very, very closely. Carlos is probably the one guy you would let go beyond 120.
And we've talked before about when did those pitches come and under what circumstances did you throw those pitches during the course of a ball game. And Rich Hill had some runners on base in this game. He left 2 on in the second. He left 3 on in the third, 2 more in the fifth, and 1 there in the 6th inning. So he's had some high stress pitches in this outing today.
And Zambrano's last time out went 5 innings and threw just 80 pitches. So getting a little bit of a breather, and everybody the next turn gets an extra day with the off day Monday.
So Carlos will be good for about 170 next time out. At least that's what he's going to tell Lou.
Well, I think Lou and Larry Rothschild have done a great job in not always taking that day and making sure Carlos pitches every 5th day. They've been good about giving all their guys extra rest when they've had that opportunity. And that's because, Bob, everybody's been healthy and has pitched, you know, for the most part well. There have been some rough stretches for guys like Marquis and Hill. And he's generally kept them right in order. Maybe occasionally skipping a guy or pushing somebody back to give him a little extra rest. You have that luxury when everybody stays healthy.
And it will definitely pay benefits down the stretch run. Pitchers don't always believe the same way a pitching coach and a manager do, but anytime you can save pitches, it's going to benefit you later.
Good play by Stephen Drew to throw out DeRosa on a busted bat ground ball.
I've heard pitchers call it saving bullets. Any pitches that you can keep in your back pocket from this start hopefully will carry over to the next one.
Angel Pagan with a big hit, a 2-run triple. His 2nd 3-base hit of the year. Coming up a little bit later, our 7th inning stretch will be handled by, in my opinion, one of the best comedians of all time, Dennis Miller. One of the most cerebral comics, an actor and a writer as well, and starting up a radio show. So we'll chat with Dennis Miller. We'll sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." He's also a former football broadcaster. We'll have to ask him about the Monday Night Football experience.
I was a big fan of Weekend Update when Dennis Miller used to host it on Saturday Night Live.
A long-running HBO show as well. I always enjoyed his rants at the end. Of course, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. That famous line. Well, if he's looking for the GOAT, we saw a stuffed animal here earlier this week. Oh, let's grill the GOAT. I got you.
Bad intentions for the Billy Goat. Bad intentions.
3-2 on Pagan.
Boy, Juan Cruz still can rush it up there pretty good. 96 miles an hour on that last fastball. 95 on the one before. This guy's listed at 6'2", 155 pounds in the media guide. I don't think he's gained an ounce since he signed in the major leagues.
Boy, a lot of souvenirs today. Seen a ton of foul balls. Derek Lee fan, or at least near the Derek Lee fan, wearing the 25 jersey. High fives all around. How do you like those shades?
Every different kind of lens that the players wear gives them a little different perspective of the game. Some of those are kind of high visibility lenses that shooters would wear when they're target shooting. Other times it's more just to kill the glare of the sun, change the contrast of the background. Remember a couple years ago, guys were wearing those funky looking red contact lenses that were supposed to help with their visibility on the field.
Called strike 3, 97 from Juan Cruz on the outside sliver of the plate. To the 7th we move, 2-2.
She's America's favorite teen queen, Lizzie McGuire. Sunday at 11, only on Superstation WGN.
How long is this gonna last? I'm ready to hit the Bud Light. I already took care of it.
Say, well, all right, now we are gathered here today to join in marriage, Bob and Julie. Bob, do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife? Do I hear and I do, I do, do I hear and I do?
I do.
Julie, do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband? Do I hear and I do, I do, do I hear and I do?
I do.
Going once, going twice, and now pronounce you husband and wife, you may kiss the bride.
And away we go. Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
So what I owe you? 100, 100 and a quarter, 100 and a half, 175, 200, 200 and a quarter.
That's cold.
At eHarmony, we match you across 29 dimensions of compatibility. And right now, not only can you log on to eHarmony.com and get your personality profile, you can also review your matches all for free. Aren't you curious to see who you would be matched up with according to compatibility?
He loves me for me.
Visit eHarmony.com and discover what so many singles have found. Log on today and review your eHarmony matches absolutely free. eHarmony.com.
One day you find it's not business as usual. Your hair is gray, and you wonder, will people still see me as a valuable player? Is my career going down? How do you stop that?
Just for Men stops gray from hiding who you are. Easy with 5-minute target gray technology.
Now doors are opening, and you wonder, why did I ever put up with gray hair?
Let the real you come through. Stay in the game with Just for Men.
Time now for our Bud Light Fan Cam on a beautiful Saturday from Wrigley Field. The Monkees from 1966. On the vocals. I think they recorded that in a tin can back in 1966. Saturday's Child. Today's Bud Light Fan Cam, always worth it. Oh, I love that track. They had some great songs. I don't think they wrote most of them, but blowing inside. Michael Wirtz now working in the 7th, 1-1 on Orlando Hudson. Smacked on the ground, and Fontenot can't get it. I'm guessing that'll be a hit, but Fontenot was able to get over there in time, just could not corral it.
Well, look from his swing like Orlando Hudson really got a lot of topspin on that ground ball, just accelerated right underneath the glove of Mike Fontenot on into right field. He got over there in good position, just didn't get the glove down low enough.
Here's Burns. They continue to put the leadoff man on base. It's the 4th time in the ball game, and they've done it each of the last 3 innings. Hudson's 3 for 5 in the stolen base department. Here's a pitch. 1 strike on Burns. Well, let's see. Where did they come from to see the Cubs? 2000, maybe Arizona. Pause by Wirtz. Now the pitch. Fouled back.
Well, 2,002 miles away in any direction. I mean, could be just about anywhere.
Middle of the Atlantic.
Canada somewhere.
Maybe they're from Alberta.
Maybe they're from just down the block and they got lost on the way to the ballpark.
Tony Pena, a right-hander, up for Arizona. Scott Ayers back up again.
Tony Pena, we just showed you a moment ago, warming up in the Diamondbacks bullpen. He's Bob Melvin's seventh inning guy with a lead usually. The formula for the Diamondbacks is Pena in the seventh, Brandon Lyon in the eighth, and Jose Valverde to close it in the ninth when they have a lead.
Barry Bonds is in the Giants lineup today in Milwaukee. Even though it's a day game after a night game, it's a late afternoon start. Dave Bush pitching for Milwaukee today. Tim Lincecum for the Giants. Not yet started. 2 strikes to count on Eric Burns. Hudson with a leadoff single. His 3rd hit of the day. Pulled barely foul. That just missed the corner of third base.
Third base ump Angel Hernandez right there on top of the play. Watching to see if that ball changed direction when it got near third base. As you mentioned, it was very close to hitting the outside part of the bag at third.
Michael Wirtz struck out Ray Durham the other day on a slider that looked like a changeup. I mean, the bottom just dropped out. Great late movement. It was a fastball, and it's 3-2. You have to think Hudson's going to be running.
Tries to come inside with a little tailing fastball. Tails just too much off the corner inside, running the count to full. Hudson's one of those deceptive middle infielders. He looks like he should be fast, but he doesn't run very much.
He's not running, and it's off the end of the bat foul.
Well, if Hudson's not running, it means Bob Melvin's concerned that Eric Burns might swing and miss up there at the plate. He does lead the Diamondbacks in strikeouts on the season with 67. If you have confidence that that hitter can put the ball in play, at least make contact, put it in play on the full count, there's no question you send that runner.
Swing and a miss. And that's why Burns really upset on himself.
This is why Hudson was not on the move. That's a hanging slider, belt high on the inside part of the plate. That's a pitch that normally gets hammered. Swung right through it.
Connor Jackson, a cleanup hitter with 1 out, and Hudson still at first base. Get into a double play, then he walked and later singled. You think he's over it yet?
No, not yet. Give him another month or two. There's no question Eric Burns has an emotional involvement in the game every day. Might not have a comb, but he has an emotional involvement in the game.
Ort's taking his time with a runner on base. Slider strike. And the great Dennis Miller is with us, getting ready for the 7th inning stretch. Didn't mean to startle you there, Dennis. Sorry about that. No, cameras all over the booth here. Spy cam. You can't get away from us. Check swing. He went too far, and it's a big pitch. 0-2.
We saw the previous sequence against Eric Burns in the 0-2 count. Michael works through a fastball up near the shoulders and then came back with a breaking ball low and away. See if he tries the same thing with Connor Jackson. So they're just going to go away.
Struck him out. 2 down.
That's that slider, breaks straight down at times. What a good pitch for Michael Wirtz.
Now it's Reynolds. Mark Reynolds. He's 0 for 3. Slider for a strike. Well, the thing you like about that slider, Bob, is sometimes it'll be 83. Sometimes it'll be 86, 87. Take a little off, change the movement a little bit. When it's your main pitch, you can throw some variations in there. There's another one. There you go. We like it when it happens on cue. He has the get-me-over slider, then he can bury the one in the dirt, trying to get that swing and a miss. Struck him out. All 3 pitches were sliders. Here comes the stretch.
Taking me out to the ball game, actor and comedian Dennis Miller.
All right, let's tear this up. None of that run suck crap today. 1 and a 2 and a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. 'Cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Go Cubs! Go Cubs!
Visit the largest science museum in the Western Hemisphere, the Museum of Science and Industry, msichicago.org.
Introducing Payne's newest Vanishing Act.
New Icy Hot Vanishing Scent. Now the power of Icy Hot glides on icy to dull pain, then gets hot to relax it away, and the scent vanishes.
New Icy Hot Vanishing Scent. Make pain and scent a vanishing act.
Deep in the Amazon, this New Yorker is looking for answers.
He left me for Gilligan's Island.
What he finds is a son.
He's got your nose and he thinks he's never wrong.
What am I supposed to do now?
Now he's bringing him from one jungle to another.
Put the seat back down. Females and tribes start war over this. Many deaths.
And things are about to get a little savage. Tim Allen.
No, come back here!
Disney's Jungle to Jungle. Today at 4 Eastern.
Now, I don't want to go off on a rant here, but the great Dennis Miller is here, and I did not misspeak. Dennis, one of the great comedians of all time. And not, now, on the bio here, you're number 21 on Comedy Central's list. I mean, you should be 19.
Well, I'm in there behind Fergie Jenkins and Lee Smith.
Great to have you here, Dennis.
Anytime you're in the top 21, growing up in Pittsburgh, Bobby Clemente fan. Glad to have the number, my friend. Glad to have the number.
That's right. Well, it's great to have you here, and what a day, huh?
Well, listen, you're at the Shrine. You're at Wrigley. I see this view here, and I think of that Sports Illustrated cover when I was a kid of Kurt Flood going up into the ivy out there in center field. Remember, there was a great picture of Kurt Flood, and I grew up loving the Cubbies. I loved Ernie, Billy Williams, sweet stroke. Ooh, just goes into the anti-Bartman side of the field over there. Where is Bartman now? Where did he?
That's a good
move to
question.
Sri Lanka.
I want to ask you, I've got a lot to ask you, but do you ever forget anything? Everything you read and everything you see, it's up in that steel trap because you make some references. It's unbelievable.
Listen, I got one monkey trip. I got a nice deep.
Here's Scott Moore pinch hitting for Michael Wirtz. Now, you're wearing number 7. Is there a significance?
No, I don't know. It's slimming.
7 is slimming, huh?
I made a big attempt.
The vertical stripes and the number 7.
You want to go out there with a double 99 all of a sudden.
So a big radio show, huh?
Yeah, I'm on WIND here. We're on 9 to 12 starting on Monday. Going to put me on live, and I think that's 560 in Chicago. They've been real nice to me. I flew in to kiss the ring a little because they put me on live. You know, sometimes they tape you. You're on in the middle of the night with the UFO crowd. All of a sudden, you're in the Quonset hut outside Vegas communicating with Alpha Centauri. So when they move you up to 9, you come in and thank them.
1-2 on the pinch hitter, Scott Moore. Make it 2-2, and Bob mentioned weekend update when you really made your mark.
Well, listen, you get fired from enough things and you end up with an eclectic resume. So, whenever I try things, I just try them for the fun of it. I don't like go into Monday Night Football or something thinking I'm going to have to rewrite the book here. I just think, I'm going to give it a try and have fun with it. I remember standing there the first night I did Monday Night Football. I got Al Michaels on one side of me, arguably the best play-by-play man of his generation. I got Fouts on the other side with a honking Hall of Fame ring the size of Paraguay. Paul Tagliabue slapping me on the back. I'm standing in the middle thinking, wonder if I should tell anybody I've never been to a pro football game. I mean, I watched it at home, but I'd never gone. So my first game was in the booth, mate.
Oh. Well, you know what? You stayed true to yourself. You didn't change anything. You were Dennis Miller.
What are you going to do?
Right. You
like
just
I
do
said,
it.
I got one trick. So I remember one night I was on, and I used to try to drive Al crazy, and this cat had hurt his ankle. They were wrapping in an ace bandage, and I said to Al, Al, I haven't seen that much fabric used since Christo wrapped the Pont Neuf in Paris. Al hits the sneeze button. He looks at me and goes, what the hell are you talking about? and Omar, who's the producer's down in the truck, he fancies himself an art aficionado. So Omar's on the headphones going, no, Al. Christo, environmental artist, solid reference. I'm thinking if the people at home could hear this.
Oh, yeah, that's how it works in the booth a lot of the time. It's what's not heard on the air.
Well, the rhythms of baseball so much. I grew up with the gunner, Bob Prince. And, most of the games, the interstitial stuff, ingratiating yourself into the community and that. Gunner used to kill me, though, because he would let's get the picture.
Forget that.
Wow, wait, I don't want to talk over the cat. But the Gunner used to go up, and he used to go off on the craziest tangents, I remember. You'd forget about the game because he was so, I remember once he said, people write into me, they say, how'd you get the name Gunner, Bob? Well, let me tell you a story. Me and Jimmy Williams, the possum, we were down in Florida, Grapefruit League, coming back to Fort Myers, and let's just leave it on this. Somebody pulled a gun on me. I'm like a kid at home thinking, that's what you're going to leave it at? You're not going to explain that anymore? Somebody pulled a gun on you in a bar?
Here's the 2-2, right? Yeah.
I remember when the gunner went to the Monday night ABC broadcast, and it didn't quite translate to the national stage. Remember one night Hector Cruz was up, and the gunner says, I know his brother Caribbean. And everybody's bummed out. Say, what are you saying?
Can you hang on for 2 minutes?
I'd love to.
All right, Dennis Miller with us, 2-2 after 7.
7 are left. That was a copycat performance, not good enough. The musical train wreck. Boy band, yes. American Idol, no. And Simon's already picking a winner. If they don't vote you through as the winner of this competition, it will be total madness. American Idol Rewind.
Today at 6 on Superstation WGN.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits.
Sweet.
Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
Wouldn't you know it? One moment we're on the road to romance, when suddenly it gets interrupted. That's why for guys like me with ED, there's Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both go to work fast in as little as 30 minutes for some men and work up to 36 hours. The fact that Cialis can work fast is great, but having up to 36 hours gives me the option of being ready once the moment is finally right.
Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Why ask your doctor about Cialis? Because even after an interruption, you can still be ready.
When the moment is right, you can be ready with Cialis.
This year, when you can't be at home to watch the Cubs on TV, check out MLB.tv. You can watch every out-of-market game of the season live online, even when you're traveling. And this year, live radio broadcasts are included with a subscription to MLB.tv. For more details, visit Cubs.com, where baseball is always on. Beautiful day in Chicago. And the Cubs and the Diamondbacks tied 2-2. Augie Ojeda, former Cub, is pinch hitting, and Bob Howard's now doing the pitching. We're with Dennis Miller in the booth. He handled the 7th inning stretch today. And Dennis, we can't let you go. Our production truck, everybody down there wants me to ask you about their favorite movie, Bordello of Blood.
Ah, my opus. They'll play that at my AFI tribute. All I know is one of the minor Baldwin brothers, I think it was Zeppo, fell out at the last minute. They needed somebody to be in the film, and Stallone was dating Angie Everhart. He said, Miller makes me laugh. Next thing you know, I'm doing a vampire horror film. It's like 3 in the morning. Corey Feldman, who's out of the business at that point because of, let's say, habitual problems. He's a vampire, and he comes up. He said, let's rehearse our fight scene. I said, Corey, it's 3 in the morning. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not out of the business. I'm putting a stake in your heart. I'm in bed by 4. Good night. Last film I did.
Oh, but they remembered it. Ask them about Bordello of Blood.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it.
My kids tease me about it all the time because I played a guy named Rafe Gutman. And, well, if I had phoned it any more in, I would have had a Motorola ad.
2 strikes on Ojeda. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Last thing.
Do you think that cat was baptized, Augie? I mean, do they actually have a christening where they're pouring water over your head? Go, Augie. Where are you going to go? You got to be a baseball player with that name,
right.
Augie.
No question. It's all baseball right there. Augie Ojeda.
I was talking to Sweet Lou in the dugout before the game. He seems pretty calm. What are they on, a 7-1 streak?
Yeah, playing very well, particularly here.
Mellowed out, man, because, you know, there are days you run into Lou, and you can tell base is coming out of the hole that day. You know, those days where Lou's just picking the whole bag up.
Well, he doesn't like to lose, and that's what we were told, that he's very fun to be around. He's calm, he's relaxed, but he hates to lose.
Hey, he's a baseball guy. You know what I mean? You need a baseball guy. Now, listen, if Lou Piniella pulls this off, brings it to, you know, now that Fenway's out of the way, brings it to Wrigley, he goes on Mount Rushmore, right? What a way to go out the door. So I think this might be Lou's last gig. He either wins it here or this is it. But you don't go back and do the devil race after you're in Wrigley. You know what I mean? This is it.
You're right, and he has said that throughout. This will be his last job. Signed a 3-year contract, trying to get the Cubs back to the promised land for the first time in a long time.
Well, can you imagine this place if they win? I'm flying in for that last game because this will be the epicenter of the universe at that moment. Go completely bats. I might come in as a zip line off those National League flags out there. Right into home plate. Just one of those survivor zip lines.
It's been a long time. A 2-1 to Stephen Drew, and it misses.
Now look at the difference in baseball from sitting up here. You got such a great perspective. You're in one of the ultimate shrines, the Tigris and Euphrates of ball. I look down at the Cubby logo, solid, takes me all the way back to Hack Wilson. I look at Arizona's logo, looks like a landing strip or something for ancient astronauts. What is that logo?
Well, it's a big A.
That's not a logo. It's something you find on a wall of a pyramid down in Chichen Itza.
That's deep and out, and Stephen Drew.
Listen, I was prepared to not even react to it. It's the other team. Just let it go.
So the Diamondbacks have the lead.
Who was that? Nancy Drew?
Stephen Drew.
Stephen Drew. Sorry.
Well, he gave it a ride, and again, the wind's blowing in today. Really no doubt about it.
9 career home runs for Stephen Drew, 3 of them here at the Shrine. He just went down and golfed a low fastball to right field through the wind.
Well, Dennis, thanks so much for stopping by. We had some laughs, and you're one of the smartest, not only comedians, but people I've ever really listened to or watched on television, and just really enjoyed the visit.
Just a young kid with a dream. Thanks for having me, boys. Sorry to go out on the Drew homer. I feel like a buzzkill. All of a sudden, we're having fun. Drew Jackson.
Well, we appreciate the time. No, it was all good. It was all good with you today.
All right.
Hey, thanks
Dennis.
for
having me. Later, Gator. Thanks for having me, Cub fans. Always nice to be in Chi-Town on a beautiful weekend. Later.
That'll be a double. So a runner in scoring position, Chris Snyder with his second hit.
A couple of balls that carried a lot better than it looked like they were going to off of the bat. Stephen Drew's home run well up into the bleachers in right field, and this ball off the bat of Chris Snyder just accelerated over Soriano. Short hops the wall out there in left field. Diamondbacks making some solid contact against Bob Howard. You don't see that happen very often.
Now with switch hitting, Jeff Devannon took a called third in his first at bat in the 6th. Stephen Drew with a go-ahead home run. It's 3-2. But
this gives you the freedom to do business out of town and still come home at night.
Winston, I'm home.
Fly one of Southwest's 8 daily nonstops from Chicago Midway to the San Francisco Bay Area for just $99, including new service to San Francisco International starting August 26th.
You are now free to move about the country.
Heartburn?
Painful.
Zantac.
Okay.
Better? Completely. Zantac's fast. Maximum strength Zantac after a meal quickly relieves heartburn.
Dinner?
Sure.
Zantac.
First.
Prevents?
Definitely Zantac's fast. Maximum strength Zantac before a meal prevents heartburn. Heartburn?
Yeah.
Prescription.
Slow.
The leading prescription can take a day or more to fully work.
Zantac.
Better. Zantac's fast. For heartburn, why wait? Zantac's fast.
They've always brought you great rooms at great rates. And now, the experts at Hotels.com are the first to bring you flexible booking, which lets you change or even cancel your reservation without any fees from us. So you don't have to worry if your plans change. And with the lowest price guaranteed, you never have to worry about paying too much. That's what flexible booking is all about. Just log on or call our certified experts now to find out more. Hotels.com. We know hotels inside and out.
A terrorist threatens to start an epidemic.
If you fail to comply, I will release 2 vials of the virus.
Next 24, tonight at 11:30 on Superstation WGN.
All youngsters at the ballpark today. Must have been here on Bat Day. Let's check out our upcoming Cubs and Sox high-definition broadcast schedule, sponsored by Comcast. Tuesday night, the Sox host Detroit at 7 on WCIU Channel 26. The Cubs will host the Phillies on the U Tuesday, July 31st at 7. August 2nd versus the Bills, 1 o'clock right here on WGN Sports 2007. Big League Baseball in HD, sponsored by Comcast. Tony Pena is now working on the mound. Juan Cruz, a former Cub, with an outstanding relief appearance today. 3 scoreless innings. Didn't give up a hit, in fact, and Cruz has a chance for the win. 2-0 the count on Ontario. Cruz looking to go 3-0 versus his former team. Fans of the riot. Missed again, 3-0, and Snyder's going to head out as Pena took a look at his right hand. He lost the grip a little bit on that last pitch. $41,632. Been an unbelievable homestand, hasn't it?
It really has been. I was down on the Diamondback side of the field before the ball game today, and the players, the coaching staff, even manager Bob Melvin talking about the feeling here at Wrigley Field for that ball game yesterday, and a lot more of the same here today.
Well, we're not in the prediction business, and we don't like to just throw out gut feelings about what may or may not happen, but you have to feel okay about it. I mean, they're down only a run, and the Cubs have shown a penchant for coming back late at home. And this is the part of the order that you feel the best about. A leadoff walk to Terrio. You have Fontenot at the plate, and then a Ramos Ramirez on deck.
And a 25-year-old pitcher on the mound. Pena's been very good for the Diamondbacks this year. But I don't know that he's faced a team that has been as resilient and as hot late in ball games as the Cubs are in this most recent stretch.
Well, it's obviously not a consideration right now because he's not up, but it would be interesting to see at some point in this half inning if Bob Melvin would get his closer up in the 8th, Jose Valverde. And sometimes in spots where your team is struggling, a manager will use his closer to try to get the final 4 outs. Right now, sticking with Pena, who walked the leadoff hitter, and he's 1-0 on Fontenot. There's a strike. How about that glove? Bright red glove for Tony Pena on the mound.
Unless the rules have changed recently, that's perfectly legal as long as the glove is all one color. Pitchers are not supposed to wear gloves, for example, with a black web and a tan colored glove. It has to all be one color. It doesn't specify what color it has to be.
And a fly ball by Fontenot, but Burns will be able to run it down. Ramos Ramirez adding some insurance yesterday. The score was 3-2. It was 3-2 Cubs, and he made it 6-2 with 1 swing. Brandon Lyon.
And a Well, seeing that replay once more, I'm convinced Miguel Montero, the catcher at that point for the Diamondbacks, had no idea what pitch was coming. He tried to call timeout. He reacted to the pitch as if it were a fastball. It was a hanging curve, and Ramirez banged it out of the ballpark.
It's a foul ball. Banging off the shin guard of Chris Snyder. 1 strike on Ramirez. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. 0 for 3 on the day. The last hit for the home team, the Pagan 2-run triple in the 4th. Only 2 base runners since, both walks. For something big to happen in the dugout.
Pena on the mound for the Diamondbacks is literally the player to be named later. When I was with the Diamondbacks organization, he was a young prospect in the low minor leagues, going by the name of Adriano Rosario. Well, it came to be discovered that he was playing under the identity of a nephew that was 3 years younger than Tony Pena. After the investigation, he stayed down in the Dominican Republic and played some ball down there, and has now resurfaced under his own name, Tony Pena.
Up the middle. Nice play by Drew. The flip, the barehanded catch and throw. One of the best double plays we've seen all year. Drew and Hudson teaming up to get Pena out of the 8th inning. Man, 3-2.
Deep in the Amazon, this New Yorker is looking for answers.
The boy sitting next to the fire over there is your son.
What am I supposed to do now? When you go from one jungle to another, things are bound to get a little savage. Tim Allen.
No, don't come back here.
Disney's Jungle to Jungle. Today at 4 Eastern.
Okay, now what? Rock, paper, scissors for it? Okay, that's fair. On 3? Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
I threw paper.
I threw a rock.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Low 5.
That's cold.
The latest Turtle Wax breakthrough in car polish is Clear. Crystal Clear Turtle Wax Ice, a clarified synthetic carnauba that performs like no other polisher wax. Ice leaves no white residue on trim or in seams.
I had no residue whatsoever. It was perfect.
Clear and deep, and it really brings out the shine.
Ice is so advanced, you can use it in the hot sun with outstanding results. Now, your choice is clear. New Crystal Clear Ice from Turtle Wax, world leader through innovation.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
We're up to 1 million hits.
Sweet.
Who is it?
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, right.
You're messing with the wrong guy.
3-2 Arizona. What a turn. Drew and Hudson. Drew got to it. A long run. How about the flip and then the catch and the barehand? Wow.
Just an amazing play. Orlando Hudson's been doing it for a long time. Stephen Drew is going to be doing it for a long time. He's going to rapidly develop into one of the best defensive shortstops in the game.
Ryan Dempster with his first appearance off the disabled list. His last one was against the White Sox on June 22nd. That was on the south side. Went on the DL with a left oblique strain. 2 rehab appearances with Iowa. He allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 4 in 2 innings, and was activated yesterday. Hudson hits a ground ball to second, fielded by Fontenot, and he throws him out. Hudson's had a big day with 3 hits. I think the most impressive thing about that double play was when Hudson got the ball, not only did he barehand it, but he was really turned away from first base. He then had to almost turn 180 and fired a bullet to Jackson.
Just so many things have to go right on a play like that. Obviously, your shortstop has to have great range even to be able to get to that ball, but his feed to Hudson was on the backside of the base where Hudson could actually use the bag to protect himself against the sliding runner. That's a scary proposition for that second baseman when you have to turn your back completely to the runner and then wheel around and try to make an accurate throw to that first baseman, but Hudson was up to the task that time.
Burns hits it foul and out of the park. Really turned on it. Well, the bottom line for Demp with the oblique was that he just needed to rest it. And as anxious as I'm sure he was to get back here quickly, just needed to give it time to heal.
Boy, and the history of that injury has proven very quickly to trainers around baseball that you cannot rush an oblique strain. It's going to take its own sweet time to heal, and if you try to rush back too quickly from that, you're looking at a season-ending injury. So I think the Cubs and Ryan Dempster were very wise in playing it very cautious with that oblique injury.
Just missed everything.
There's supposed to be a mascot back there somewhere that he just hit. The Nuke LaLoosh fastball. How'd you lay off that pitch?
Here's Valverde. High drive down along the left field line. And Soriano will watch it drop. Valverde was just getting up before that double play ball was hit in the bottom of the 8th. So if Pena had continued to get into any sort of trouble after the leadoff walk, I think it's possible we would have seen the Diamondbacks closer in the 8th inning, but he wasn't needed.
On the season for Valverde, he's pitched in 39 ball games. He has 28 saves, and in the 39 ball games that he's pitched in, he's thrown a total of 37 innings. I think if he had his druthers, Bob Melvin would much rather bring Valverde in to start an inning rather than bring him in with runners on base.
Burns strikes out swinging. While we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
Get into some serious monkey business with a full hour of funniest pets and people. Weekends at 7 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Len and Bob and our WGN Sports crew from Wrigley Field. Cubs won the opener yesterday, but the Diamondbacks lead 3-2 here in Game 2 in the 9th. The 0-1 to Connor Jackson. A little bit outside. The producer of Cubs baseball on WGN Sports, Pete Toma. Skip Ellison is our director. Mark Brady is our associate producer. The executive producer of WGN Sports, Bob Vorwald. Thanks as well to our stage manager in the booth, Angie Adocchio. Our production assistant, Ben Heisler. Our studio coordinator back at WGN, Christina Ballas. A great crew here at Wrigley Field. Job well done as always. Also a special thanks to Sarah Tomic. And our production assistants. Great work. That'll be a base hit for Jackson. Hit number 10 For Arizona, the Cubs have just 4. A little inside on Mark Reynolds. Switch hitting Tony Clark on deck. Well, it's been a while since the Cubs lost a 1-run game. June 21st at Texas, 6-5. Pagan coming in, he has it. As he heads toward the dugout, Angel due up third in the bottom of the ninth. Jones and DeRosa ahead of him, 3-2.
Chicks. Dig.
It's awfully hot in here.
Becker.
Someone has been working out.
Becker. Watch him operate 5 nights a week.
Late nights on Superstation WGN.
Got an old buddy waiting for a visit in Washington? Fly Southwest Airlines from Chicago Midway to Baltimore, Washington, or Washington Dulles International for just $79 one way.
You are now free to move about the country.
Hey, Mr. Opportunity again. And if you wish you were driving that beautiful Accord, well, now's the time to make it happen, because it's the Honda clearance. So it's your chance to choose the Accord sedan of your dreams for a deal that's absolutely dreamy.
Hey, way to go, Mr. O.
Looks like another satisfied customer. The 2007 Honda clearance. Now you can lease a Honda Accord for $199 a month for well-qualified customers. I'm Mr. Opportunity. I'm back. And I'm knocking.
It's time to feel free with Chase Freedom. Feel free to choose points for rewards like travel.
I'm free to do what I want.
Or feel free to choose cash back.
I'm free.
Then feel free to change back again.
In the old time.
Without losing a thing. That's freedom. That's Chase Freedom. Get it free at chase.com/freedom.
Well, 3 outs to go. The Cubs need 1 to tie and 2 to win. Tony Clark is in to play first base as part of a double switch. If we go to extras, he would lead off the 10th. Hard throwing Jose Valverde now on the mound. An all-star this year.
Outstanding numbers for Valverde in his 10 games in his career against the Chicago Cubs. An 0.87 ERA. 6 1/3 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts, has allowed only 1 base hit against the Cubs. We were talking earlier about the great reports that we get from Stats Inc. and all the splits. Look at Jose Valverde's daytime numbers. 0-1 record with an 0.77 ERA, a perfect 9 for 9 in save opportunities. At night, he's 0-2, the ERA of over 3.5, and has blown 3 saves, 19 out of 22. Features a real good fastball in the high 90s, a devastating split-fingered fastball.
We went off speed on the first pitch to Jones. DeRosa, Pagan also in this inning. The 0-1. Ground ball to short. He's scooting over to his left. Throws him out. 1 out. Top of the second in Milwaukee. The Giants lead the Brewers 1-0. Benji Molina with a sacrifice fly. Give the Giants the early advantage. Barry Bonds is playing left and cleaning up today for the Giants. run coming in the second. Here's Mark DeRosa. Ball one. Cubs winning streak against right-handed starters on the line now. They had won 11 in a row going into action today. A 2-0, a strike, 2-1. Valverde was signed back in 1997 by the Diamondbacks from the Dominican Republic.
But not only does he have good stuff, he has a delivery that really is deceptive to the hitters. They don't pick up the ball quickly, kind of a short arm delivery. They don't really seem to pick up that pitch until it's already well on its way to home plate.
He spent some time back in the minor leagues last year. A .584 in the big leagues in 06. And 15 appearances at AAA Tucson. This year an all-star.
Well, in the past, conditioning occasionally was a problem for Jose Valverde. He liked that big league meal money and took every advantage of it. Has himself in much better shape this year, and the results are much better.
Two balls, two strikes on Mark DeRosa. Valverde working from the stretch with nobody on base. Here he comes. Just missed. 3-2.
There's a paint that outside corner at the knees. Maybe just a hair off of that outside corner. Good take by Mark DeRosa.
Full count pitch. He walked him. The tying run is on with one out. Cubs trying to rally late, and Angel Pagan coming to the plate. The last hit for the Cubs 2 times ago through the order. Well, thank you, Christina. She hearts us.
Or heartburn.
Runner being held on by Tony Clark. There's a strike. Remember, Pagan's at bat back in the 4th inning against Micah Owings. Looked bad on the first 2 pitches and then pulled a triple to right.
The Diamondbacks obviously don't believe Pagan is going to pull Valverde. Chris Young in center field, shaded way over the gap in left center. As a matter of fact, this is a similar alignment they had when he hit that triple back in the 4th inning. Eric Burns was over toward the gap in right center, and Pagan pulled it to straightaway right field up against the vines out there.
Bouncer back to Valverde. They will get an out at second. And no out at first. Cubs still alive. A nice play by the pitcher to flag it down and get 1 out.
The Diamondbacks are able to get the force at second base. I gotta believe Stephen Drew was hoping for a little firmer feed from his pitcher. Valverde kind of tossed a little changeup out there to second base. On the run, just a little floater, and Drew trying to get out of the way of the runner, get something on the throw, and with Pagan's speed, no chance to get him at first.
So Cliff Floyd's going to pinch hit for Coyhill. And a rough homestand injury-wise for Cliff. Suffering a left shoulder injury against Houston, and then leaving due to a sore neck a couple of days ago against the Giants. But here he is to pinch hit with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. The speedy Pagan at first base. In some ways, Cliff Floyd today playing the role of Darrell Ward, who's on the DL. Left-handed pop off the bench. Lou has to pick his spots carefully now with Derek Lee suspended. The Cubs with just 4 guys on their bench today. Scott Moore has already been used. Now Cliff Floyd. You have Jake Fox in the on-deck circle. Jason Kendall, the other guy available. Popped it up. He broke his bat. Foul ground. And it's caught by the catcher, Snyder, and that ends the ball game. So the Arizona Diamondbacks have evened up this series with a 3-2 win in the middle game of this set, and we'll have more from Wrigley in a moment.
Okay, class. If you're in the South, you say, "Hey, feller, give me a Bud Light."
Hey, feller, give me a Bud Light.
In New York, you say, "Hey, give me a Bud Light." You got a problem with that?
Bud Light, you got a problem with that.
In East LA, you say, "Give me a Bud Light, Holmes."
Give me a Bud Light, Holmes.
More importantly, if somebody asks you for a Bud Light, you say,
"Don't speak English."
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Bud Light?
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Bud Light.
That's cold. Wouldn't you know it? One moment we're on the road to romance, when suddenly it gets interrupted. That's why for guys like me with ED, there's Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to both go to work fast in as little as 30 minutes for some men and work up to 36 hours. The fact that Cialis can work fast is great, but having up to 36 hours gives me the option of being ready once the moment is finally right.
Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medications and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
Why ask your doctor about Cialis? Because even after an interruption, you can still be ready.
When the moment is right, you can be ready with Cialis.
Heartburn?
Painful.
Zantac.
Okay.
Better? Completely. Zantac's fast. Maximum strength Zantac after a meal quickly relieves heartburn.
Dinner?
Sure.
Zantac.
First.
Prevents?
Definitely Zantac's fast. Maximum strength Zantac before a meal prevents heartburn. Heartburn?
Yeah.
Prescription.
Slow.
The leading prescription can take a day or more to fully work.
Zantac.
Better. Zantac's fast. For heartburn, why wait? Zantac's fast.
We're so excited.
We're very excited.
Everybody says, you guys should be in that commercial.
We were already a walking eHarmony commercial. We tell everybody we know.
I actually wrote in to eHarmony.
We actually kind of joke because we'll find ourselves talking about the same things they say on the commercials.
And also it's fun just talking about our story and sharing it again with somebody else.
We are.
We're absolutely real.
We are real.
Met on eHarmony.
Yep.
Find the love of your life at eHarmony.com. Log on today.
Just because I'm a foster kid doesn't mean I'm a lost cause.
I have the potential for greatness.
Some people have an attitude about me because my parents have problems.
I wish you could see me for who I am.
Don't be afraid of me.
And don't feel bad for me.
Just care what happens to us.
Dame una oportunidad.
If you can't be a foster parent, find another way to help foster children thrive.
Do something to help me make it.
Help make foster care better.
Just do something.
Don't write me off.
Don't write me off. Don't write me off.
Foster kids are our kids. This message brought to you by WGN TV and the Illinois Foster Care Agency in your community.
Now your final totals for Arizona: 3 runs, 10 hits, no errors, 11 men left. For the Cubs, 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors, 6 stranded. Former Cub Juan Cruz gets the win in relief. He was terrific today. 3 scoreless relief innings. Bob Howry takes the loss to drop to 5-5. Jose Valverde with his 29th save, 3 hours 20 minutes in front of 41,632. And our Budweiser play of the game is the game-winning home run. Stephen Drew in the 8th inning off Bob Howry.
Mentioned it at the time, his 9th career home run for Stephen Drew, the 3rd that he's hit here at Wrigley Field. Good-looking young player.
Budweiser, the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Open up a world of taste. Our next broadcast on WGN Sports, your official summer baseball station, will be Wednesday night from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The Cubs and the Cardinals renewing acquaintances. They'll play Game 2 of their upcoming 3-game set. Left-hander Ted Lilly, right-hander Adam Wainwright on the mound, 7 o'clock Central Time, right here on WGN Sports, our 60th year bringing you Cubs baseball like it ought to be. Well, the offense had been so good, but stymied today by the Diamondbacks pitchers. A final today, 3-2 Arizona. Cubs 7-2 on the homestand. They'll wrap it up tomorrow. Now for Bob Brenly, Pete Thomas, Skip Ellison, Mark Brady, Bob Borwald, and our great WGN Sports crew. This is Len Casper wishing you a great rest of your weekend.
Chicago Cubs baseball brought to you by Budweiser, who thanks you for being a designated driver. Your Chicagoland Dodge dealers. The Illinois Lottery. No matter how you play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. By Pepsi. Your world, your Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines. Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, Southwest can get you there with over 3,000 nonstop daily flights to over 60 destinations. Visit southwest.com today.
Something to remind me of another place and time.
Deep in the Amazon, this New Yorker is looking for answers.
He left me for Gilligan's Island.
What he finds is a son.
He's got your nose and he thinks he's never wrong.
What am I supposed to do now?
Now he's bringing him from one jungle to another.
Put the seat back down. Females and tribes start war over this. Many deaths.
And things are about to get a little savage. Tim Allen.
No, come back here.
Disney's Jungle to Jungle. Today at 4 Eastern.
Only 7 are left.
That was a copycat performance, not good enough. The musical train wreck. Boy band, yes. American Idol, no.
And Simon made his pick for the first American Idol.
If they don't vote you through as the winner of this competition, it will be total madness.
I saw you snapping and dancing for the first time ever.
Did he get it right?
I made a mistake once in my life. Sitting with these two.
American Idol Rewind.
Today at 6 on Superstation WGN. American Idol Rewind. Saturdays on Superstation WGN. We now join our program, already in progress.
Yes, Mr. Parsons, that's right. This broadcast has a potential audience of 100 million people. It is historic. It's the first Cuban-American cultural exchange in 30